Took so fucking long to load. Jesus.
Now what?
Now what? Oh. Bro, my last pair just does not want to sell, huh? Someone sold. Sungrass or something? Talent of Tethys. Oh, we getting that Talent of Tethys, bitch.
Hello.
Yo. So what's the deal, man? You not at his place anymore? You back home or what?
I'm on my parents' house now. I'm at my parents now.
Gotcha. Does my mic sound like shit, by the way? I changed some settings.
Not really.
Alright. That's good. Dude, what the fuck, man? I feel like my allergies are back, and I haven't dealt with allergies in a long time. Like sneezing all the time.
That time of year.
Like congested and sneezing all the time. Oh, come here, bitch. Nah, you know what? I have honor. I'm not gonna kill you because you're more than 10 levels under than me. See, I ain't no bitch like you guys are. You fuckers don't care. You all see me and y'all get fucking horny and you just come after me. That's how it be, bro. Level 60s just fucking coming after me. That's like, why? 15 levels under you. What do you get out of that? You got work tonight, you said?
Yeah, I closed lounge.
Oh, okay. Bree did pretty good the other night, closing lounge.
Nice.
I actually have a decently good schedule this week randomly. I wasn't expecting it to change because it's been the same for over a month.
Has Casey hit you up for shifts?
He did hit me up. I didn't respond yet. I should probably tell him I'm sorry, man. I can't afford. I mean that does suck. But I really I
there's
cannot
probably a
afford
reason
of
you
giving
only
up
got
any
one shift
shifts.
a week.
Yeah. Plus, I don't want to. He was asking for one of my closes, and I'm like,
He asked me for one of my closes. I was like, I didn't respond yet because he texted me yesterday when I was in the middle of doing a breakup and packing, and I didn't have time to deal with him right then and there.
Yeah, I was at the gym when he texted me, but I just. He said he was gonna pay me to have his shit. I'm like, pay me? What are you gonna pay me over 100 to 200 bucks? That's gonna negate the shift because that's what I expect to make.
Right.
You know what I mean? That don't make no sense. He's just not perform. I haven't worked with him much lately. Is he just not performing well?
He's
Keeps showing
late
up
every
late?
day. He's late.
Oh, yeah,
the late
that.
thing is the big thing, and then there's a lot of complaints on tables. People walking out.
Really? For
Maybe
what?
we're just not paying attention. He doesn't know how to handle tables. He can't figure out the flow of it.
Really?
So like a table will be sitting there for like 8 minutes, not even being greeted yet, and he walks past them to greet another table who's been there for 2 minutes.
Oh. Bro, this
But,
guy's
like-
gonna gank me, this motherfucker.
But like
Fucking piece of
management
shit.
didn't really care that much because they all found him hilarious. But now Styx is doing the fucking schedule and he's doing it based off performance.
Let's get this party started.
I was shocked when I got a closing shift, like a house close shift. I haven't had one of those in fucking forever.
Oh, piece of shit. Yeah, what's up, bitch? You wanna try to gank me, huh? You know Tethys, the fucking, the Raptor and Stranglethorn Veil that you have to kill for the Big Game Hunter quest line?
Yeah.
I'm fucking trying to fight that thing, which is an elite. This fucking rogue tries to gank me, bro. Piece of shit.
I just did all those the other day. I'm on my way to the Badlands.
Yeah, I was playing a little bit of the new season on D2R, and there's nothing changed. There's no new anything, so it's almost like, what's the point? You know?
Right.
I mean, I'm still gonna probably play. I'm just not gonna like go hard on it. I'm too addicted to this fucking shit right now.
I got 40, so I got a faster mount, thank God.
Don't touch what you can't.
And I got a fucking blue drop in the world drop that's worth like 50 gold. So it's a nice pole arm that I could use. So it was like, clicky click.
See if I can kill this fucker before this douchebag comes back. Oh, great. Someone else is... I have to gank you. I'm sorry. I normally wouldn't do this, but you're killing the guy that I need. Sorry, buddy. I need that guy.
Recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. Shadow trance.
Bro, I don't know why I keep trying to log off Warlock. It's by far... I have tested enough classes now on Classic, and it's the strongest class in the game. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Like, I keep getting on my Paladin, and I got my Paladin up to 45, 44, something like that. Like, my Warlock would have been 60 by now, for sure, if I just focused on him. But, I like to play multiple classes. I get bored after a while, kind of thing. But, yeah, this class is just so broken. The fact that I could fear certain bosses in this game, that's just insane to me. And fear hardly breaks. So, like, on retail, if you fear a target and you start hitting it, like it'll break pretty quickly. Not on here. It takes fucking forever. Sometimes not at all. It won't break. So you can just dot them up, run up onto them, slash LOL in their face while they have dots rolling on them. Fearing all over the place, just running around. It's great. So did something happen recently where Casey's schedule changed? Did he do something wrong?
Oh, I don't know. I really try to stay out of that kind of shit, to be honest.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything. It's not my place to say anything.
All I know is that he's not very good with tables and he's late all the time. I mean,
The late thing look, I'm a person that I'm a stickler on that. Like I don't know, call me old school, old fashioned. I think it's just good business etiquette practice. You don't be late for work, bro. You're there to do a job. You're scheduled a time. That's the time you're supposed to be there, you know?
Yep.
Or else what's the point of having a time?
Right. You know, he's scheduled at 11, he show up till 11:30, and then poor fucking Michelle and Athena are running around with their heads chopped off. And he just mosey's in, not even ready to work, sits there, eats his food. I'm like, bro, can you stop and get ready?
Not only is he late, but he's eating his food. No.
He's late because he has Chick-fil-A. And then he fucking comes over, he's not even dressed, no belt on, shirt's not even on. And he just sits there for 10 minutes getting dressed and eats.
Bro, there is a thing that's like on the internet right now about that. It's funny that you're talking about that. I just saw I watched a lot of different, like I watch alternative media and stuff like that because mainstream media fucking sucks and they just lie to you all the time about everything under the sun. But anyways, there's like a trend going on right now, mainly on like TikTok and stuff, like people complaining, like it's called something like this girl was fighting for the right to be able to basically be late for any and everything. They should be, it's discriminating against them and it's affecting their money that they're being punished for being late for work. It's like, bitch, you're affecting their money for being late for work. Hello? Like, what do you mean? It's a business. Like, there's actually like a group of people out there that think that they are entitled to be late because they feel that it is a, not a disease, but like a condition that they have or whatever. Like, I don't know.
That's dumb.
Yeah. Bro, we live in La La Land, dog. Like, straight up. Like, this is clown world we live in right now. What am I looking for? I gotta kill Bag of Thera. Oh, this is the Black Panther. Oh shit. Fucking elites. So are you guys like taking a break or are you guys like done?
No idea. I have no clue. I guess I'm in time to tell. I could see it in his face it's not what he wanted, but
You see it in his face it's not what he wanted?
yeah.
Oh, you feel like he was just kind of like going through the motions and it wasn't like true? That's the vibe you get.
I don't
or
know. I know I need to work on some things, so I'll work on my things, and then hopefully,
yeah, but you should.
Take me back.
But do this, bro. And this is something I've learned over fucking years. Work on yourself for sure, but do it for you. Don't ever do it for anyone else. Ever. That is the big. I learned that shit so long ago, bro. Like, Look, we're human. We're not perfect. We all have our flaws, okay? You know. But yeah, working, you know, always improve yourself for yourself, not for anyone else. God, this class is so broken. I don't even need to fucking fear it. I can just tank it. I'm just killing these elites like they're nothing. Why do I do it, bro? Why do I log off this class? This class is so dumb. Like, I should never log off this class. Bro, that's why I'm like pushing myself so hard to do like the gym stuff and try to be healthy, even though lately I've definitely not been eating right, but I have lost 20 pounds in the past 2 months. 3 months? 3 months now? 3 months? So oh, you know what? Oh, I need to take honey. That's why. I mean, so little herbalist secret, real life herbalism. To help prevent illnesses and allergies, take a teaspoon of fucking or tablespoon of honey every day. Local organic, ideally.
Yeah.
That shit fucking works for real. I need to go do that. I need to get to a safe spot though. Oh, I'm about to go into Gank City territory. Fucking the camp where you go turn in all the quests.
It's the yellow one. He really likes that. It's where there's really good back for it, for golf clubs and stuff like that. I can't do that. It's cool.
How's your sister doing? Get the car thing all figured out and situated?
What?
Your sister, the car thing all figured out and situated?
Oh, yeah.
Ready yet?
Yeah. Everything's fine.
I think we would make more money on the red one because it's a year older and it's in better shape and it's manual transmission.
Charging.
And everybody wants
It's too far
to put
away.
ourselves in fucking bugs. And just. He does it, that's the thing. He has to if I were to sell both of them, one would have good. I'd be just like, you know,
That spell isn't ready yet.
well, and I kind of like the idea of having manual spins. The reason why I like anything before 2009 is because I looked at the stuff. Like, quite legit. It's the kind of, once it gets to 2009,
What? Master Adventurer the Raptor Slayer has a nice ring to it, eh?
So the great Pugthera is dead. Cheers to you, adventurer. You are a mighty adventurer indeed.
This is such a good quest line for fucking
For what? Turtle corn?
Charging.
looking at me funny, dude.
And ensuring that cars that old is like cheap. We were going
Charging.
insurance would be much better. I think that his heart payment is
Bro, you're gonna die, dog.
somebody else. Mhm. He's going to
Yo. Oh, that's so good every time, man. I love world PvP in this game. It's so fun. It's so fun. That's what makes this game the best game, is the world PvP.
It's like you can get a brick wall and print this wall, right? Because it's all metal, no plastic. And the we drove the jeep away from it. No issues. It didn't even have a scratch on it. Well, Jay's not my boss in Twitter. And he's pretty cheap because he just, got past the 20 year mark. So he's trying to and he's no longer drive any because he refuses. So he can't just take my boss there.
Dude, the Alliance is so bad. If you fuckers are watching my stream again like y'all were the other day, you guys are loser pieces of shit. Every one of you. You fucking scum are the only ones on the server that go out of your way to gank people. Not only 2v1, but fucking 20, 30, 40 level difference. Like, you guys are fucking bad. I hope you're watching. You guys are all scum pieces of shit. Well, I made a clip the other day of these 4 virgin fucks that were just ganking me over and over after I beat them all 1v1 3 times in a row. So they all ganged up against me because they couldn't kill me.
Huh.
Why does Alliance suck? Well, at least you're closer to work now, I guess.
Yeah. Silver lining, I guess.
Probably save a little bit of money, too.
Probably.
Alright, you fucking dweebs done being virgins, or what? Are we... You all good? You got your fix in? You killed somebody that is a gray mob to you? That you get 0 honor for, by the way? No one change that I would make if they were to make changes to this game. The only change I would make, only one. You get dishonorable kills every time you gank somebody that is it's great to you, meaning they are at least 10 plus levels lower than you. You get dishonorable kills. Now, dishonorable kills matter in Classic because it goes against your honor per hour and your honor pool. You want as much honor. So you got to remember, for PvP, the only currency in this game is honor. And it's a decaying system, so you have to keep up with it. So let's say you PvP a lot this week, but you do 0 PvP next week. Well, it'll be good for that week, but then it starts decaying and then you can start losing ranks. It's so I don't know if you know about like the rank 14 grind or anything like that, but it's like super tedious. And you get decay based off of the amount of honor you are or are not getting basically per hour per week. And dishonorable kills negate that, takes it away. I think that'd be a good change. That'll prevent the 60s from ganking people. They get nothing from it, nothing besides pissing people off. It's like it's stupid. Like you're just an asshole for no reason. Oh wait, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be flying.
Where would you like to fly to?
Booty Bay. I have 422 gold.
Nice.
I think that is the most I've ever had on Classic on one character. I have more gold than that total, but on like one tune. I think that's the most. My hunter had a lot too, though.
Real actual like taste of it. So 6 months, everything will change with Classic WoW. Do you guys think they're working on Cataclysm or not? Just Copium video, we're gonna find out.
Last month, Classic WoW turned 4 years old. We went through where the game began in vanilla. We crossed the dark portal into TBC, and we are well on our way.
Oh, that's probably really loud for you. I'm sorry.
Alright.
Interesting.
I'm gonna use you. You're gonna be my little guinea pig experiment, by the way.
Oh boy.
Supposedly, I don't know how true this is, but
What?
supposedly, there's no, according to Vinruki, if you were to start Wrath of the Lich King right now, there's no good catch-up system. There's no catch-up. Like, you're so behind, you'll never catch up, supposedly. I don't know how true that is. I feel like that's bullshit, but that's what Vinruki says. So when you hit 80, I'm gonna join you and we're gonna gear and we're gonna see if that's a thing.
Okay.
Supposedly you have no chance, there's no way, like you're fucked. But I feel like he says a lot of doom and gloom shit. So we're gonna test that theory out. You know, people are still learning like new things to this day about this game, and this game's 20 years old. Like, people think that the best like leveling spec for Warlock, for example, is with the Voidwalker, and it's not. It's way slower. It's safer in the sense it's more forgiving. But if you know how to play Drain Tank build, you're going to do double the DPS, and you are virtually immortal. And a lot of people don't play that build because they're either bad or lazy, or they don't figure out shit on their own. I don't know. They just go by old cookie cutter builds, and they just don't figure anything out. So anyways, moral of the story is we're gonna put that to the test, and we're gonna find out if that's bullshit or not.
Alright.
So You ready to start going to the gym, bro, or what?
You looking for work, adventurer? I might have some if you're up for a little challenge.
Oh no.
I got a friend named Groy
You should, man.
who makes
Be
a
good for
killing
you.
selling what the Naga call Akiri's reed. It's some kind of valuable ocean reed.
Get your
Not too
minds
sure what
off
it's
thing.
for,
The
but it
gym
pays
is a
well for
great
bundles of the
mechanism
You bring me 10 stocks
to
of the
just
stuff, and we'll have business to do.
clear your head,
Naga
get
will
minds
last
off thing,
seen along the
or
beach
use it as
north of
fuel
here.
to like
I see. Gravel has a big scheme planned. He has a
lift,
sinister
like
mind.
improve your
I like
lifts.
that about him. So you'll need something to addle wits, eh?
You're
Something
building your mind,
powerful?
you're building your
I
body.
wonder if the mixture Zanzil feeds his zombies.
Quite
could be
literally, one of
used.
the best investments you can do in life for yourself is build your body, your mind.
Zanzil the Outcast dwells with his followers in the Jubuwai and Abaraz ruins, northeast
Should, man.
of Booty
Should be
Bay.
good and healthy
He
for
is
you.
exiled from his tribe. Why? Well, Zanzil has methods of bending the minds of others, and his leaders fear him. He uses a mixture of jungle plants on his followers to suppress their will and strengthen their bodies.
Bloodsail
His mixture would be worth much to those who wish to
Buccaneers.
control others.
Oh, I
Bring
used.
me
Oh, I
samples
love
of
this
his
quest.
mixture, and I will find a use for it.
Yes.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's people who don't pay their gambling debts. And there are a lot of people who owe me. Think you can help me collect? First, there's Shaky Phillip down by the docks. He owes me plenty after last week's game, and I want my due. But to get it, we'll have to scare him. Go out of town and hunt Elder Mistvale gorillas. Find a nice selection of giblets, then take them to Shaky. Don't let on that they're from an animal. Let him think the worst.
You sure seem eager to work, matey. Not sure why some land-loving person adventurer is offering help to the Blackwater Raiders, but I'm not gonna turn you away. Our ship just docked here in Booty Bay, and word has it that our rivals, those damn dirty Bloodsail Buccaneers, have been spotted all over southern Stranglethorn. All the boys are too busy hitting the grog and looking for ladies. What I need is a scout. Check the cove just north of Booty Bay along the Savage Coast and see what you find.
Now what?
Oh, I freaking love Warlock so much. It's my favorite class by far. Oh, it's not even close. So did Joel get a ticket?
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yep. Big fat one too, I believe.
Like what, $500?
Something like that.
Plus she's gonna have to pay for
Take a class.
take a class. Plus she's gonna have to pay for the damage to the vehicle either via insurance or out of pocket.
Oh. It's not looking good for her.
She still went to her boyfriend's?
Yeah.
Gosh dang, man. That's love right there, you know what I'm saying?
You know.
Sure, I remember you, adventurer. Back from scouting, I see. Shiver me timbers. So the Bloodsail Buccaneers are planning some
What is
sort
your
of attack on
favorite
Booty
thing to
Bay?
do in Classic
Why, the
WoW?
nerve of those scoundrels. Booty Bay will always be run by
I'm
the
not
Blackwater Raiders. This is bigger than I thought. Report what you have
don't know.
learned to Fleet
Levels,
Master Seaboard
probably.
at once. The old Sea Dog is around town somewhere.
The sea life. I ain't gonna say it's the good life, but it's my life. When I get into port, I like to find me a good bottle of grog. and
Leveling's
some
definitely up there for
high-quality
me, for sure.
nasty habits, but what's a pirate without his vices, right? So you can
But my
imagine
number
how
one thing has
long
gotta be
ago
World
I was to
PvP.
find
That
out
is
the
my
herbalist
favorite.
here in town has gone and sold out of the stuff. Says his shipment got hijacked by those damn bloodsail raiders. I bet a fearless adventurer like you can convince him to share the goods.
Bloodsail buccaneers attacking Booty Bay. They might as well throw themselves off the Overlook cliffs. Nonetheless, by bringing me this information, you have done my fleet of swashbucklers a great service. Blackwater Raiders, thank you. Brass speaks highly of your dedication to the Blackwater Raiders. I am going to trust you with a mission of extreme importance
You got a gun?
to the fleet. Infiltrate
Yeah,
the
you can hear it.
southern
Yeah.
Sorry.
command post
Hey, yeah,
the
you're good.
Bloodsail Buccaneers have established
Here.
on the wider shore. Raid the encampment. Bring me their charts along with their written orders. We shall see exactly what those scum are up to. Avast! Who goes there?
Why did my
I
succubus
am but
disappear?
useless without your special enchanted eye. Bad enough to have lost me eyes in battle in the first place, but by some
Couldn't
stroke of luck we
resist.
docked in Menethil, and a traveling wizard enchanted a special glass eye that let me see. Last night I ended up getting jumped by some bloodsail buccaneers on me way out. Took
Maybe I'm
me
about
eye
to
they
get, but I
did.
need to do
Seems
this.
those blokes have found their way to Booty Bay. Help an old sea dog out by getting me eye back?
Oh, I hope I do the quests on the boat. These are good quests over here to do.
Say please.
That spell isn't ready yet. It's still charging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
Oh no, don't disarm me. Whatever am I gonna do as a warlock? Man. Do we gank him? Do we gank him? Do we gank him?
Quid pro quo.
It's still charging. That spell isn't ready yet. Shadow trance. I can't cast that yet.
Let's get this party started.
It's still recharging. Shadow trance.
Fuck, I need to get bandages.
I fucking need to go buy some more water. I forgot.
I can't guess that yet. Shadow trance.
Damn, here's all the horde. Where have you guys been? It's like a Lions-dominated server. Tailoring supplies.
That spell isn't ready yet. It's still recharging.
What build are you playing? You playing BM?
Yeah.
Switch to Marks when you fucking get 80, or I think Marks is the play. Pretty sure. Actually, I don't know. Are you going to be PvPing at all, or you don't know?
Not really.
Just do
Probably
dungeons.
not.
Dungeons
Yeah.
and raids.
Past that yet.
I
Yeah.
still think Marks is the play. I think. I could be wrong about that.
That spell isn't ready yet. I don't have a target.
I'm sure your keys are here.
Shadow trance. I'm
Let's
out
get
of
this
range.
party started.
It's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. Mana.
Fuck, man. I need to get more food and water. I need to get more bandages, too. Speaking of which, are these guys dropping me Mage Weave? Our rogue is smart. He knew I was gonna gank him. He vanished.
It's too far. It's still recharging. I need a target. I can't miss that yet. It's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. Shadow trance. That spell isn't ready yet.
Oh, this guy's nice. Oh, you're nice. See, the Horde is so much nicer. It used to be the other way around. Horde used to be vicious fucks. It would just every man for himself, fucking. It looks like all the toxic players went to Alliance. But it seems like. All right, we need more food and water.
Shadow trance. It's too far. It's still recharging.
Let's get this party started.
I need a target.
I wonder if spirit regen works while you're bandaging up. Theoretically, it should, right?
Yeah.
But maybe not, because it's counted as a cast, maybe? I don't know.
Never
That
felt
spell isn't ready yet. I need a target. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. Shadow trance.
Let's get this party started.
Charging. I can't cast that yet.
Never felt so good.
That spell isn't ready yet. It's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
Oh, this poor hunter got ganked. Lions be like that, bro.
What can I help you with?
Bro, I will sell these gloves. It will happen.
Hello. Safe travel.
I got what you need. Hurry back.
Oh, you can have pets in Classic WoW? I didn't know that. Do you know where to get food and water in Booty Bay besides the innkeeper? Is there like a fucking dude anywhere to talk
Maybe
to?
a food drink, a food vendor, a drink vendor.
Just don't know where one's at. I'm sure there's one here, but where?
All right, buddy. I'm gonna go take a shower and shit and get ready for work.
Yes, sir. I will be
I'll
on
catch you later.
later.
I will be on when I get home.
All right, later, man. Have a good night.
Bye. You too.
Oh, I want to finish watching that video. We're gonna watch it on, or listen to it on stream. I'll watch, you guys listen. Ha! That's how that's gonna go down. Or listen to it on stream. I'll watch, you guys listen. Ha! I'll watch, you listen. Oh. That's actually so funny. What the fuck? That's actually funny.
Time is money, Train. Glad I could help.
You're in trouble now.
Oh, this piece of shit.
That spell's ready. I need a target. It's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. It's still recharging. Shadow trance.
Northrend. All of this in a far shorter space of time than it took originally too. Back then it would have been just over 6 years to get from vanilla to Kata. For us, it'll be less than that for sure. How much less though? Well, I suspect BlizzCon at the start of November will likely hold those answers for us.
Yeah, there's no way. BlizzCon is obviously going to have info about Classic WoW this time around. I think 100% it's going to happen. Because it's like after Wrath, I feel like that's kind of like Wrath of the Lich King is like the end of Classic. Cataclysm is not Classic. Wrath is. Straight up.
Just as the game changed so much from 2006 to late 2010, our Classic has indeed gone through many changes too. Back at the end of 2019 in the release of Classic, the majority of the community was full on no changes. Coming off the back of Battle for Azeroth, the second not terribly well received retail expansion in a row, many were wary that Blizzard may seek to add features to Classic to modernize the game and
which again, I do think that like for actual Classic WoW, they shouldn't really make any changes to the game. Like I would rather them not make changes than actually make changes. Like there are small things that they could do to improve the game.
Yeah.
But like I worry about
dishonorable
that because
kills.
one of the changes that happened in Wrath was the WoW token, and the community, the player base accepted that, which was really sad.
Tokens.
I was so disappointed to see people continue playing Wrath of the Lich King after they added the WoW token.
Wrath is still doing good too.
Experience, and the players wanted that full-on Classic experience with all the warts intact. And whilst not perfect, it certainly did bring back a version of the game we've never really seen before. We had world buffs and people trying to grief them.
See, this is why world buffs are great. Right here. And this to me matters way more than the raid difficulty. This is what MMOs are about. Wiping on a boss for 7 hours is just fucking annoying.
PvP ranking in the open world before battlegrounds, and your heals not going off thanks to spell batching. And so many.
But to be fair, I think spell batching.
Oh my god, guys.
Because of it. Classic WoW would have been better if there was no spell batching.
Fond memories. Whereas in Wrath Classic now, we have had tons of general gameplay updates, and many more to come in the final patch. And let's face it, it doesn't make a ton of sense to put in general gameplay updates such as these for literally the last content patch of the current expansion, and for that to be it. We aren't going to kill the Lich King and then see a credit screen rolling saying thanks for playing, you beat the game, and then your character gets deleted and you have to go outside or something. This whole Classic thing, be it in expansions or going back to vanilla, really is the gift that keeps on giving for Blizzard. Then again, I do get it. For a bunch of people out there, it's already decided in your mind. The journey ends with Arthas. Rafford.
Yeah, that's how it was with a lot of people back in the day. Is it like after they beat the Lich King? Like the Lich King was the last loose end from Warcraft 3. Like, we killed Illidan, we dealt with Manaroth, we did all the other stuff. It was just the Lich King was the last motherfucker that was still sitting there causing trouble. So, like, that was the main story arc. And yes, obviously, there were, like, other things, but, like, mainly the Lich King. So as soon as we killed him, that was it.
Yeah.
The Lich King is the cutoff point for Classic. After all, you know what's going to be happening next in the game, don't you? And you know what? I remember how many times I read that people were stopping Classic after Kel'Thuzad fell back in vanilla, that they weren't going to be playing TBC or later returning for Wrath. And I don't know, I'm just saying, between Wrath at the moment, albeit quite raid loggy, and the new resurgence of Classic on Era and Hardcore, I reckon the player base is still in a pretty healthy spot. But as mentioned, vanilla to Cataclysm was about 6 years of the game's history. Next year is coming up to a massive 20-year anniversary for the World of Warcraft MMORPG. And as much as the perceived vanilla era of the game was absolutely an important part of its history, by now, there is much more that came after that than during. People will have started World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say that's a good thing, though. I mean, like, I remember that this dungeon, this is Well of Eternity. This was the patch 4.3. 4.3 brought in Dragon Soul, and Dragon Soul was one of the worst raids ever made. It was such a bad raid. Like, there were, was there a single good boss at Dragon Soul? I don't even know. Like, it was just such a piece of shit. So, like, a lot of the later expansions weren't good. Like, I don't know. I think they just weren't really that good. Like, Mists of Pandaria was okay, Like the raids were okay, sure, but other than that, I mean, like, I don't know, like, it just, I think just going back and doing the classic content is just so much of a better idea than trying to like relive this like mid period in between like you know, Cataclysm and retail WoW.
Do I want to play another character?
Warcraft,
I mean, not really.
Different expansions. There'll be people who started in the Dragon Soul patch of Cataclysm, midway through Warlords of Draenor, or even Battle for Azeroth, and for those players, that's when they actually got into the game. So they're probably going to look back well on those experiences they had then, even if the wider player base seems to think that those points in the game were bad for whatever reason. And if you know you prefer the more original vanilla feeling of the game, then that option is currently there for you. It's not like we're getting either progression past Wrath of the Lich King or content for vanilla. At the moment, it's the best of both worlds, or at least it seems to be that way. And when I say best of both worlds, is that Cataclysm seems to be happening based upon the large recent gameplay updates. And if you didn't know, Blizzard have already said they're working on a new seasonal server for vanilla as well. And
I would be okay if they did Cataclysm, but like I would play it. I mean, of course I'd play Cataclysm, sure. But like, I really want to see Classic Plus or some sort of modified version of Classic. Because like, this is the kind of gameplay that I want to see. Right here. This is it. I don't want to have the bullshit like Mists of Pandaria or whatever. I want simple, clean, honest gameplay. That's it.
To be honest, what sets Classic apart as a game when compared to any other expansion at the moment feels as though that's the reason why it's currently seeing a huge surge in players.
The reason why Classic has a lot of people playing it is because it's an actual MMO and not a menu screen simulator. It's a game that does not start at the max level. There's not 17 different microtransactions you need to buy in order to be competitive in the game. Let's be honest, there's like a million reasons for this. Like, Classic WoW is, in my opinion, I think it's the best MMO ever made.
Many may count Vanilla, TBC, and Wrath as that original timeless trio, but having played and replayed them now, Vanilla really has started to show itself standing out more and more. Not Cata, nor Wrath, nor even TBC had the...
Like, I didn't really play Wrath hardly at all. Like, I played Wrath a lot whenever the game first came out, and then afterwards it was just like, okay, so now all I have to look forward to is doing raids every week and having people mess up the mechanics. Well, this isn't really fun. Like, yeah, you did until Ulduar? Yeah, I didn't want to play Ulduar because, like, it just wasn't fun. Like, straight up, it just was not fun.
Same gameplay structure as Classic, and that structure is the main reason a lot of people are going back to it right now. As cheesy and overstated as it is, it's all about the journey, not the destination.
Also, like, I've got to tell you, I think a big reason why Classic's popular is because it gives brain-dead players good loot for doing something that's not that hard. That's why. That's a big reason.
You know,
like,
you said this a million times, dude.
Because they give really good loot. There it is. It's popular because it's easy. And I know people don't want to hear that, but that's the truth.
Has really been cemented to me as a big reason why Vanilla does so well when compared to expansions. During expansions, the content really begins at the previous expansion's level cap. All that leveling that takes place before is kind of just a hurdle that Blizzard keep accelerating, reducing experience needed, making Elite Zone less dangerous, the heirlooms, the LFD, the list goes on. In Classic, you start at level 1 with next to nothing in your
Seed of Corruption was so OP in Burning Crusade, it was disgusting.
Bag. There's no idea that you're the hero or there to save the world. You're sent out to deal with minor, trivial problems, to deliver items, to report news. Gradually, you work your way up the levels and take on larger threats and do things which are worthy of merit. But even in the face of some of the largest challenges the player faces, there's always the idea that you are a smaller part of something bigger. In later expansions, there might have been a quest to go and defeat Cthulhu or Kel'Thuzad, and for you to be rewarded after having done that. In Vanilla, though, you defeat them, and then you get an item which you can turn in for a reward. It's a small difference, but it's details like these which matter. And in some ways, for me personally, it's almost vindicating after all this time to see something centered around leveling, such as hardcore, being so popular.
Well, that's because leveling is probably the best content in Classic WoW. number one, and number two, getting rewards and everything like that, like your character not being treated like they're the hero of the story, I think does matter, because like whenever you actually get, whenever you kill Onyxia and they give you the Onyxia like talisman or whatever, right, the necklace, for killing her, that's like a really big deal. Like, cause literally, like, bro, started from the bottom, now we here. Like, you used to be killing like kobolds in the mines. You used to have to collect 5 boars. And like the thing is also, in a lot of games that's kind of true, but like the acceleration of it is so fast that it doesn't feel like anything. Whereas like in Classic, like you remember whenever you were level 7 because you spent hours at level 7. You didn't know where to go. It took time to build up to this.
I spent Classic leveling each class to 60 as I just preferred doing that more than the endgame content. You heard people say they hated Classic leveling so often to where you would believe that enjoying it was a niche thing, but clearly that's not the case. On top of that, Classic set itself apart by being full of items that wouldn't have even been considered for a few seconds by a modern design team, such as magic dust, a rare drop from a level 18 or so mob that...
This is the dust that Zico used on that little rat paladin to CC him outside of the zone. This is the dust right here. And this is like, again, it's like another example of like what I was talking about, where like Classic WoW, like your skill and ability to play the game is important, sure. But like what is even more important is like your knowledge and your awareness of what's happening. So like, for example, like this paladin, isn't that Varigan's Fist? Like this is like a whole quest line in order to get this. Like a lot of people don't even know these things even exist. Like knowledge and preparation are very important. And I think that again, like modern gaming is focused a lot around esport gameplay, right? And like dexterity, like skill in a game. And I actually don't think that that has like a massive appeal to a lot of people.
Oh, that fixed it.
And if you look at something like Minecraft, Minecraft really isn't a very competitive game, but it's one of the most popular games in the entire world. And I think that many games are like that. So people need to get away from this mindset that like harder is better and like just more challenging and more punishing content is just fundamentally a better experience for people, and it's better to reward good players. Like sometimes being really, really good and having like being extremely like, you know, physically capable of playing a game, like sometimes making those people the winners makes everybody else besides that the loser, you know? Harder is better for a small amount of niche players only. Yeah, it is. And like the knowledge of the game, I think is more easily acquired and it feels good, right? Like whenever we watch the Classic WoW clips and you see like, oh, I know what's gonna happen here, like that's knowledge. That's like, that feels good to know that you feel like you're getting a reward for knowing something and playing the game. It's like you're leveling up internally.
Instantly applies a 30-second sleep. Gnomish Mind Control Cap lets you take control of much higher level players. Goblin Rocket Helm, another instant way to CC a target for a long time. And there are many more examples. This total lack of anything being balanced kind of worked in a way for vanilla though. If everything's overpowered, then nothing is overpowered. It's just up to the player to grind, farm, and straight up be more of a degen than the next guy to come out ahead.
Exactly. Like, and that's, yeah, I think that's the interesting fun thing about it. And I always use, like, as I said, like after I thought about this for a long time, I use the isekai anime like razor, right?
I will pass
where
along
it's like
word
if
that
this
the
would be a
Guild
cool
Wars have been
story
removed
point
from their
in
lairs, and
Overlord
that
or
their
Sword Art
structures may be
Online,
set to fire.
then it should be in
The
WoW.
removal of the razor
Or
man
it
from
should be in an
Durotar
MMO.
brings us closer to fully
It
securing
doesn't
the
matter
borders
if
of our
it's
new
fair,
homeland.
really. Like obviously there
You
always
do your
have
clan
to be
proud,
like kind of
adventurer,
limitations,
and because
especially
of
whenever
you,
those things can
Durotar
affect
is
other
free of one
players.
more agent of
But
evil.
in a general sense, I think that the fixation that people have around like hyper balancing and min-maxing everything and turning everything into some sort of like a competitive environment or competitive state, I think it's become corrosive to games. And people have like effectively min-maxed the fun out of the game. Was that anime reference? What are you on about? Oh, these are like animes about like MMOs and like different like fantasy worlds. So like my point that I'm making with that is that these animes are really popular. A lot of people love these. And I think that they love them because of the interesting stories that they create and the interesting, like, paradoxes that happen, right? So when a video game emulates those paradoxes, it's kind of like it's like life imitating art, imitating life, which is fundamentally what's happening, right? Because like you have a video game that's imitating a show that's imitating what happened in a video game. But like, why is that happening? It's happening because that emergent player behavior that's created by weird systems and weird things like that matters a lot more. So I don't think those shows would be so popular if there wasn't some sort of like internal truth that the shows have that is compelling for people on like a personal level. Does that make sense? You had the exact opposite opinion a year ago. It's fine to change your perspective. It's great to see 180 on min-maxing, compromising live service environments. Okay, what did I say a year ago? A year ago, you said min-maxing was not something worthy to complain about, ruining in-game experiences. That's true. You shouldn't complain about min-maxing at all. But designing a game around min-maxing versus a player thinking that that's going to impact their personal experience are two different things. Do you understand that? Yeah, I understand that. Maybe I'm not remembering it well, but it's a big change in perspective. No, the change in perspective, like, so there's the perspective the player needs to have going into a game, and then there's the perspective the game developer needs to have going into the game. And also, like, Classic WoW is already a known entity. So, like, having things that create massive imbalances in games, I think that also, like, they become issues whenever only one...
Yeah. Let me,
Quite tall enough.
Man, my allergies are... I need to take honey. Actually, I'm glad you came in here. Fuck, not high enough.
Have you taken your honey at all today?
Nah, I haven't. That's probably why. I haven't been doing it,
You haven't been doing it?
I've been forgetting.
Don't get better. Like,
Do I need shoes on? What are you trying to do?
Can you just move this drinking down so that I mean, I can reach it, but barely I'm stretching.
Can you do it there?
Yeah, but you want to come on this side. Then I'll need you to back up. I gotta wash the thing. Screws on both sides of it, so be careful. I got it started. I'm gonna have to hold that lamp. Yeah, it comes all the way off. Yeah. I just cleaned off. Know that, but we don't have a light that goes straight down, so that falls on your face. Yeah, and that too. Oh, yeah,
You have to do light bulb?
yeah, but I got here.
You at least take it
Oh
off.
shit! Walk right into the M2. Right there in the bushes.
Alright. I'm not gonna get shocked and I try to take this
No,
off.
you can take that off. I'm great with spiders.
There's a bunch of spiders. A bunch of baby spiders. That looked like a spider's nest, Mom. That looks like a spider's nest. These are a bunch of baby spiders.
Alright, let me shut that door. Hold on.
You're gonna have
You
to
might want
spray
to
it.
get down.
You're gonna have to spray it or something.
Well, you're gonna want to get down. together, be love and all that. Just saying, that's okay. But I'm not with him for everything. I just one thing is good. while you were taking it. While you were sleeping. Oh, you didn't quit it. Anyway, the water bill jumped her out. Because now, shit, fixing, you know, cold water, laundry. How much more do I owe that? Well, I've just been doing the one payment on it, and I've been keeping the other half of the payment you send me to pay down on the American Express. That's my side of it, that's not yours. I have to sit down. Alright, let's see if this thing fits, and if not, I gotta see if I can dig for another light bulb. I don't know if I got another short one.
I laid there
That
probably for. I hit it hard too. Actually, I hit it so hard. I'm trying to get it wake up. I hit it hard. Like, so like it sounded like I broke the tub.
Well, you would have to have, you would really have to have hard to break the tub.
you do? The bad way, yeah? I'm walking over here. Somebody else on the phone too.
And the same way, one on this foot and one on that foot. And that one, I thought sure. That was, oh my God, it's your flag equipment. I love her. On my house chores still. Had to go get strong, so now it's bugging.
Bushes. Well, if they have one of those like folks got like the.
Well, they do that when they feed them, but they don't kill them up.
Yeah, of course it died.
Ain't pretty hell, Bear.
Yep. I died, just so you're aware. I died, just so you're aware.
Ain't
Yep.
sorry.
one person has access to them. Whenever one person has like unequal access to something, then it can be problematic.
Some way, that's very much what MMOs are all about. But as Classic has progressed, the Blizzard has started to become more hands-on with their changes.
Oh yeah.
Back in Vanilla Classic, I remember there being a community uproar over changing water textures. There was even someone who made an add-on emulating what the LFD...
Which, by the way, I thought that was a mistake to change water textures because the juxtaposition of the higher resolution water textures make the rest of the world look bad. That's why I thought they shouldn't change it. I actually was against changing water textures.
Did for vanilla, and people lost their minds over it so much that Blizzard added new restrictions to the add-on API to prevent things like it from working. In fact, the blue post where they said they'd be doing this is probably the most upvoted blue post I've ever seen. Whereas nowadays in Warcraft Classic, among other things, we have cross-faction battlegrounds, class changes, major gameplay updates such as the Titan Rune dungeons, account-wide collections coming next patch. Oh, and the WoW token too. A lot has changed in Classic since 2019, both at Blizzard
I will never take a game seriously where you can buy gold. Like, I think that the moment that you can buy gold, like, all integrity of the game goes out the window. Like, whether that's Lost Ark or World of Warcraft or whatever. Like, I'm not going to take it seriously.
Player base too. I used to get the idea that Vanilla to Wrath Classic were the classic games, and beyond that things changed significantly. But I think nowadays that line of there being a before and after for the classic version of the game just isn't as clear as it used to be. And in some ways it does feel like there is a divide happening, which could actually work out quite well, to be honest. Why pick between continuing with expansions beyond Wrath or having seasonal updates in Vanilla when we can have both? I can tell you 100% that hardcore being as popular as it currently is only a good thing for vanilla fans worldwide, irrespective of whether you actually like hardcore or not. If Blizzard see this many people willing to go back and play the game again, that tells them that it's something that's worth investing into again. And at the end of the day for Blizzard, a sub is a sub, whichever version of the game you are on. As for the prospect of moving forwards into Cataclysm, I still maintain the first raid tier, that being tier 11, so throw another 4 wins, Bastion.
That was a very good tier. Somebody says, would you not say it's better to buy from the company itself instead of a third party and risk an account ban? I know it's a simple don't buy gold, but I feel like that's a lot of people's outlook. Keep in mind, third party gives you a lot more gold for your dollar. People buy gold because they're not going to get banned. If people knew that they would get their account banned for buying gold, they wouldn't do it. Or a lot less people would do it. People do it because it is a mitigated risk that they know will be minimal. That's incorrect. Really, so you think that the punishment for something has no impact on the amount of people that will do it? Come on. Streamers should get banned for asking their audience for gold? Why would that be a problem? Like, I understand, like, yeah, I don't understand, like, so what, let's go ahead and see, so why do you think that should happen? Yeah, so why do you think that should happen? What about that is confusing to you? Are some people this stupid? He's not stupid, he just doesn't like streamers, and that's why. It's probably just a WoW player. I think why is the token a problem? The token's a problem because it allows people to give you gold, or sorry, it allows people to buy gold for real money. So let me ask you a question. Do you think that I would consider it acceptable for me to buy gold from my audience with real money? Like a streamer can buy gold from their viewer. I just don't see a difference. So you don't see a difference between somebody giving somebody something, like let's say like your friend starts playing a game and you give them like 80 gold for their mount. You don't see a difference between that and somebody spending real money in order to get the gold from a website or from the game itself. You genuinely don't see a difference between buying gold with real money and somebody giving you an item voluntarily. Well, friend sourcing and crowdsourcing is way different, but I digress. No, it's not. No, I just think each is equally morally wrong. Actually, I would disagree with you. I don't think either one of them are morally wrong, because it's a video game and it doesn't really matter. There's no moral equivalent to it at all. And also, it couldn't really be morally wrong because everybody enters into the agreement with complete confidence that they understand what they're getting out of it. Like, for example, if I was taking gold from my viewers and then I told my viewers that I would suck their dick, you know, literally, right? Or get them into my guild or something like that, and then I didn't do that, well, then I think that would be bad. Sure, absolutely. But whenever we're talking about like morality, I think that the entire morality argument goes out the window the moment that you have people that are entering into something where they have complete confidence and understanding of what they're going to get out of it, and there's no change in what they're going to get out of it. Somebody gives their friend gold, they are not buying that gold, there's no, you know, there's nothing coming attached to that. Or anything like that. I don't understand that. It's fine, we view the game differently. It's different giving to a friend. How's it different? How's it different giving it to a friend? Charity is morally wrong by this standard? Yeah, it is. As I mentioned, it feels exploitive to ask the audience for gold, but be so against a token. Why is it exploitive to ask? So is it exploitive for people to beg for a carry for Dire Maul? Like, let's say there's like a level 5 in like trade chat. So do you think that you shouldn't, like a level 5 or level 2, you can't zone into dead mines at 5. Let's say you're level 12. Do you think it's exploitive for a level 12 to ask somebody for a carry through dead mines? Wasn't trying to get put on blast, just giving an opinion. So, okay, I mean, that's fine. But I'm just saying, do you think that's... I have an interesting devil's advocate stance. I'm not interested in devil's advocate stances. Because most people have devil's advocate stances that they don't actually even believe, but they're just saying that because they want to argue. I'm not interested in an opinion that somebody doesn't really have. Yeah, I don't care. And I think that, again, you having a devil's advocate stance means that you know that you're wrong. Because if you didn't know that you were wrong, and you thought it was actually correct, it wouldn't be devil's advocate, it would be true. No, you seem to be on the agree with me or you're wrong stance. Well, the reason... Okay, so let me explain why I think that you're wrong. I think that your entire perspective is built off of streamers and resentment towards streamers getting real things. I don't think that you have a principled stance about any of this at all. I don't think that there's any logic behind what you're saying other than the fact that you don't like the fact that streamers are getting free stuff, and you work backwards logically from that. Because if I try to use actual logic to reach the same conclusion in something that is equivalent or similar, you immediately dodge the question because you know the conclusion will lead you to an inconsistency, and you know that. That's why you're dodging the question. So like, you actually don't have a principled stance on this at all. There's no logic to it, there's no thinking to it, there's no principle to it, there's no philosophy to it. You just don't like the fact that streamers get free stuff, and you misunderstand two things, you think they're the same, and then you get mad at people for acting like they are. So that's what you're doing. Don't logic a person have opinion? Yeah. No, my opinion is, how can you be 100% against a token when you simply ask your audience for gold? I can swipe, no difference, same end result, gold on your account. How can you be 100% against a token whenever you simply ask your audience for gold? I can swipe, card, no difference, same result. Because it completely changes the foundation of the economy. So basically, if one person and one streamer can get gold, that's a completely one-sided transaction, so it's going to limit the amount of effect that that's going to have on the game. So, like, being able to voluntarily, and this is what I'm saying, right, is that you don't have a principled stance around this idea. Because, like, what is your idea that you're trying to assert? Your idea is that people shouldn't be able to get free things in the game, and if people do get something free in the game, then it's the same as buying gold. That's fundamentally what you're saying. But you're not able to apply that logic to any other situation that's not a streamer. Because you don't have a principled stance on it, you actually just don't like streamers. And because you don't like streamers, you're working back from your biased perspective, and you're unwilling to apply that same principle to any other situation. It thinks you have an unfair advantage being able to get gold and easily so compared to others. Yeah, sure. But what I'm saying is like anybody can have somebody give them gold. Getting gold from a seller is different from getting gold from someone else. Of course it is. Yeah, absolutely. Because one creates an incentive and an economy, and the other one doesn't. Yeah, of course. Guild leaders get the same treatment. Exactly. Yeah, and again, and this is like kind of what I'm saying, right? Is that this is not a principled stance. That's not true. I enjoy streamers. That's why I'm here in a Twitch stream talking with the most popular WoW streamer.
So, Bubba.
I'm done with this. I never said that you don't like streamers fundamentally. I said that you don't like streamers. Actually, I might have said that. Let me make sure that I clarify. I think you don't like the fact that streamers get free advantages in games. I think that he resents that, and that you don't like that that's the case, and you think that's not fair.
Yeah, of course.
So,
absolutely.
And like, okay, that's fine. That's your logic. Totally okay. However, you need to be consistent with that logic and that principle that people should not obtain things for free in the game. Because in any other situation, whether it's a guild master getting stuff from their guild, whether it's a player getting stuff just begging for free stuff in trade chat or in Stormwind, whether it's a person that's playing the game that gets items from their friend, all of these are functionally the same because they are fundamentally handouts. So again, that's what I was saying. This is not a principled position. This is just something that you don't like because you don't like that streamers get an advantage. You can't use that logic when you got over 20k viewers who can choose to give you gold, which in results creates the same effect on the community when it comes to monetizing advantages in the game. I don't understand. Like, I don't think what does that even mean? They say he's getting gold about. Yeah, it's just astonishing to me that why do you hate gold tokens there? Let's start then. Because it gives people a way to impact the game with real money. I don't think that you should have a video game that you can impact with real money. Like your status in a video game you should not be able to impact that with real money. It's pretty simple. It's just it's astonishing to me that he's comparing normal gold generated in-game to gold that came from token out of thin air. It doesn't come from thin air. That's not how the token works. Chat's retarded. I think that people don't like that streamers get free stuff. So again, I've always said before that you can't logic a person out of a position they didn't logic themselves into. This is not a logical position, and any application of this position to any other situation would easily prove that. Whereas, like, my perspective with you should not be able to use in-game real money to impact your status in-game, I think this is a principle that can be applied to anything. And it is a universal principle, which means that it's a better idea than something that is circumstantial around something that you happen to not like. I can go back and forth about this, but that's generally what it is. You can't see why real money and real life clout can be equivalent. Of course not, because they're not equivalent. They're just simply like money and clout are just simply not equivalent. No, they're not. You're saying the WoW tokens are supreme Gucci of the game? I mean, I just don't think they're good for the game. Yeah. Are people attributing what you said to you asking your stupid viewers for in-game currency? The reason why is because there's a lot of dumb people who see somebody like me, who I'm pretty confident about the opinions that I have, and it makes them angry because they're stupid. So they try to come into my chat, and they think that I'm, like, having a misunderstanding of something, or I'm being, you know, unfair or biased, because they are mad about what I'm saying. That's why. And so they're trying to like second guess me or try to take me down a peg. But the problem is that most of the people that do that are stupid, right? I mean, who comes into a streamer's chat to argue with them? A moron. Only a moron does this. So, big surprise, they're not going to have any common sense or any logic behind what they're saying. I mean, I think I'm like, okay, let me read a couple more of these. It's fine. Look at any celebrity, the amount of free shit they get for being famous. Not trying to do that. That was a conversation. Again, you're still... I'm not going to waste my time with this anymore because you are unable to apply your standard to anything other than streamers. Because you don't have a standard, you have a bias. Let's move on.
Twilight and Blackwing Descent is the best opening raid tier of an expansion Blizzard have ever made, and is also up there among my personal favorite tiers of all time.
I'm going to disagree with Willie here. As somebody who raided in tier 11 and killed Sinestra, I actually think that tier 11 was really bad for the game, and it negatively impacted the game in a huge way. That's why so many people quit the game. We had like a massive pugging scene in Wrath of the Lich King, and the tier 11 raids were so hard. What ended up happening is that a lot of people ended up quitting the game because of how hard and how punishing they were. So like you can say about, I love tier 11 too, but I would never want to see another tier 11 tier. Tier 11 was great for me because at that point, like I was in college, I was playing the game 12 hours a day. It didn't matter what I was doing. You see what I'm saying?
Lands was also very highly rated by many players, but then we get to Dragon Soul and people don't like Dragon Soul. Maybe it's the end of tier raid letting the whole expansion down, when typically
I think tier 11, yeah, people weren't happy about Dragon Soul, but that's because Dragon Soul was just a reused zone with reused mobs that were reused bosses, right? Thanks for the raid, Professor Pew Pew. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. And also, Dragon Soul was the first raid that had LFR, which massively devalued the accomplishment of it.
The end of expansion raids so far have all been pretty great. I mean, we have had mediocre raids before, Mount Hyjal, revamped Naxxramas, and even our current raid, Trial of the Grand Crusader, come to mind, but none of these are at the end of an expansion. Maybe that's where the difference is. When everyone's in that final tier, that's when the biggest payoff comes for your character in terms of power during the expansion. Anyways, the point is with options of having both versions of the game, there could be a world where raiding content mainly takes place on the current expansion, but those longer term goals in terms of leveling characters can take place on vanilla realms in between this. In fact, with Classic Hardcore having come out recently,
I think really people do like having the like hardcore like WoW leveling stuff, but I actually don't think the raiding type stuff is really all that popular. I don't think it's that popular, and like you can look at how retail WoW has like just gone down. Look at how few people raid in retail WoW. It's because the process of raiding just really isn't very fun, and I think a lot of that's because of Blizzard.
That's pretty much exactly what I've been doing. I mean, running Ulduar for Flare of the Heavens, which just never exists, and doing Trial of the Grand Crusader is not the most thrilling content at this point in time, but it doesn't take that long, and I definitely want to do ICC on 25 Heroic. You've got to gear up for that. Though there were many changes with Cataclysm that people don't look back on too fondly, such as the old world revamp, it appears as though vanilla, in some capacity, will still be there, just on a different part of the Battle.net launcher. And that just seems like a good thing to me. Also, who knows, when we were going into Wrath, Blizzard removed the LFD from the game. They even made a point to announce it straight away, as I guess they thought it was going to be a super easy win. And then the players went, hey Blizz, where's the LFD? Put it back in the game for over a year straight. And now we're getting it in the final patch of Wrath. Well, the
reason why LFD, like, you shouldn't need looking for dungeon. You should not need it. But the reason why people do need it is because there are a lot of servers that are dead. Whereas in Wrath of the Lich King, whenever they added it, it wasn't needed because the servers were growing at that point, and there were active economies and active cultures in a lot of servers. But like now, like servers are super one-sided, a lot of the PvP servers are, so people literally can't play the game. So it's just, it's an apples and oranges comparison. It ruined guilds though? I don't know. I mean, like, I think like retail WoW unironically has a pretty good design of the dungeon finder, because like anything important you don't use the dungeon finder for. You can use the dungeon finder to do a heroic dungeon, but heroic dungeons have no consequence and don't really matter. You can also use the dungeon finder to do like you know, the seasonal events, right? Like a Greenland or the Headless Horseman or the Brewfest event. But you can't use it to actually do mythic raids or mythic dungeons. So I unironically think retail WoW has the best dungeon finder, because all of the important content that's meaningful and challenging, you have to make a group bespoke for.
I really wonder if this is going to happen again with LFR. Cataclysm raiding is a step up, you know. If those participation numbers drop enough, Blizzard might feel it's time to put this system back in the game during Dragon's Soul. And if people ask for it too, well, who knows what could happen. But for the time being, to be honest, the future of Classic is looking pretty great. We're about to get Icecrown Citadel, the second big hit in terms of raiding during Wrath of the Lich King. Classic Hardcore is going very strong. It's definitely early days, yes, but make the most of it while you can. Classic Era has gained a huge amount of traction, both from a vanilla enjoyers going back to it, as well as I imagine a constant influx of the fallen from hardcore servers. BlizzCon is in early November, the first actual physical BlizzCon in how many years now? Surely they will want to make some kind of statement with that return.
Maybe
it
4?
also lines up very well for news on Cataclysm, or whatever's happening after Wrath. Also, maybe there's even news for the next seasonal WoW server, and perhaps
I think
we can
that's what they're
will
probably
Classic...
going to do, is they're going to have some sort of seasonal server. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but we'll see.
Plus into existence, and Blizzard commit to adding new content to Classic instead of just doing expansions again. I could dream, right? Either way, in about 6 months or so time, Classic as a game is going to be a very different landscape, literally and figuratively. So the question remaining is, Blizzard, just what do you have in store for this game? And that is it for today. Bit of a ramble this one about the state of the game going forwards. I am genuinely optimistic for the future of Classic, seeing how well different versions of the game are currently doing. What do you want to see though? What direction do you want Blizzard to take the game? And what are you expecting from BlizzCon this year? Let me know below. Also, quick reminder right at the end of the video, if you do want Wrath era servers to be a thing, you should start asking for it on forums and stuff now. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching and listening in, and I'll see you all on the next one.
That's a very good point.
Very soon.
Yeah. That's an extremely good point. Like, I don't really give a shit about Wrath era servers, to be honest with you. Like, it would be, I think they should have one. They should have one with Burning Crusade as well. Like, they should have the era servers just because, like, why not? It's good to, like, have it there, etc. But what do I really want to see? I want Classic Plus. I want a Season of Mastery 2 that's built around making the game more of an MMO and not just making it harder. Too many people hate on Kata because other people told them to. There were tons of nice things in Kata. Dude, I loved Cataclysm. I had so much fun in Cataclysm. But, like, there were a lot of reasons for that I had, like, there were personal reasons, right? Like, I had just, you know, it was a good time in my life and, you know, et cetera, right? So, like, Kata was great for me, but I don't think the game was, like, objectively really good. And, like, that's the point where, like, Blizzard decided to make the game harder. And I think that a lot of people stopped playing. I think that was the biggest reason why people stopped playing the game. Why do we still play vanilla World of Warcraft?
When making content about classic World of Warcraft, you quickly learn that people can't help but compare the classic game to the retail version of modern times.
Naturally.
In my experience, this behaviour only increases in frequency and the intensity of the reaction when there is either new content released for either version of the game, or more often, when one version of the game is perceived to be failing. This can be difficult to manage here on YouTube.
When is it not?
After all, whilst I pull no punches when it comes to sharing my strong personal preference for the earlier versions of WoW, I have no intention of
why don't you have nameplates? What are you doing without nameplates? What the fuck is this? You got, I swear to fucking God. Why the fuck do people not play with nameplates? Like, Jesus Christ. Okay, anyway.
Other people's fun or shitting on the retail game as a cheap way to grow my channel. My personal issues with modern WoW are just that, personal. And whilst I stand by my belief that the game has moved in the wrong developmental direction over the years, I don't resent other players for enjoying it. I would like to one day return to retail and check it out.
I don't hate retail either. Like, I don't like the direction the game's gone in, but like I don't actively hate it. I just wish that it was different.
Short, the last thing I want to do is foster an antagonistic environment through my videos towards modern World of Warcraft. With that being said, I think that the constant comparison of retail and classic is an inevitable consequence of having multiple versions of World of Warcraft available to players, especially considering you can play them all with just one subscription. People are always going to compare their options in these circumstances, and even though, as I've just stated, you can play any available version of WoW, be it Vanilla Era Classic, Hardcore, Wrath Classic or Retail with just one subscription, Most people don't have the time, interest, or the energy to divide their gaming experience like that. Real life.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, you can't play, like, hardcore WoW, or, like, you can't play classic WoW seriously and probably also play retail unless you have, like, a lot of free time. That's true.
Responsibilities, commitments, and other leisure interests get in the way of that, and the need to therefore prioritize, to choose one version of the game over the rest, leads to people picking sides very quickly. Given that my channel has largely become a classic WoW channel, for now at least, I see this debate all the time, typically through the lens of people like myself who prefer classic, by which I mean vanilla era WoW, over what came after. And before I get into the heart of this video, I want to make it clear that I understand that. I understand that my audience is primarily made up of people who prefer classic, especially vanilla WoW with its...
I think, yeah, most people do. Like, I've looked at videos about, like, retail WoW, and, like, viewership for retail WoW videos are so low.
Old Lucius Malfoy looking high elf models and one mechanic boss fights.
Yeah, they could fix
So I
some of that.
appreciate that a lot of the feedback in this retail v classic debate that I've seen in the last few months is weighted heavily in favour of classic on my channel. But still, I think it's interesting that this debate is even happening in the first.
I wonder why he ended that clip. I wonder why that happened.
Place. I mean, is it not amazing that people to this day argue that a nearly 20-year-old version of a game that hasn't seen any new content released since 2006, and which has been officially playable again for 4 years, is a better game than the modern version, which has had all that time to refine, innovate, and improve? I think so anyway. And I think it's...
I think that there's some, like, in some ways, the texture of something being rougher makes it more enjoyable. Like, for example, I do think that Dark Souls 3 is a better game than Dark Souls 1 in a lot of ways, but I enjoy Dark Souls 1 more. I just do. I enjoyed PUBG more than Warzone, even though Warzone is a better game than PUBG in every single way. I just enjoyed PUBG more.
It's worth asking ourselves why this is. Why is it that people prefer old school WoW over what we have today? And I've been asking myself that question a lot lately as I've leveled my rogue through old Azeroth and interacted with so many other players.
Because everything's meaningful.
Video about it in the hope
Everything you do matters. Everything's meaningful. It's simple and meaningful.
All right, let's see what he thinks.
You're not being overwhelmed.
Themes and mechanics which work together to make old Azeroth
you don't need a
an
rush.
enjoyable place to be. So if that's your thing, watch on. I think if you were to ask 100 classic players why they prefer their version of WoW over retail, you'd likely get...
Because they suck at the game. That's why, obviously, right?
No.
That's clearly why. They're just old, bad boomers that can't handle, you know, a spell with more than a 5-second reaction time. Yeah, they're just old men that can't keep up.
100 unique answers. But the central theme would remain consistent, and it's why I prefer Classic 2. I think I can summarize it in one word, in fact.
Meaningful.
Adventure. Let me explain.
Okay, yeah,
You see, I think that this all comes down to the developmental direction that Blizzard took WoW in after Vanilla, compared to what inspired its original development. Vanilla WoW is at its core an online adventure role-playing game.
Yeah.
All members of the Horde are equal in my eyes,
based on
adventurer.
the aesthetic
We
and
have
thematic
all suffered
preferences
many
you have in
burdens,
fantasy games.
and if it were
I've
not
always
for
felt
wisdom
like
and
I didn't
honor,
like
then
how
we would be
in
no
Wrath
better
of the
than the
Lich King they
Scourge or
started
my
this,
people,
how the
while our
character's
blood was
narrative is
tainted by the
decided for
demon
them.
Manaroth.
Now,
It is your
Final
duty
Fantasy
to
does
aid
this,
the
and it's
Horde
great,
and to
and I can
defend our
respect
way
it
of
and
life.
appreciate it for what
But
it
it
is.
is also your
However,
duty to
I
know
kind
when
of
quarter
prefer
and compassion
MMOs
should
where
be
the
given
player
to
creates
friend
their
and foe
own
alike.
narrative
Understand
of
this
where their
well.
character's
This
coming
is the
from.
new Horde,
And then being
not
thrust
some
out into a truly
demon-spawned
massive,
army who
vast
lack free
world
will.
with an equal level of
Good
depth to explore
adventurer,
on your own
the
terms.
spirits be
You feel
praised.
like a drop of
Perhaps
water
you
in an
are
ocean,
the one who
not
will
just because of
finally
how
put
big
my
the world
greatest
is,
fears
but also
to
because of
rest.
how many
Who would
intricate
suspect
systems there are
someone
for you
so
to delve
young
into.
and so
In the
brave would
presence of many other
rise up
players
and
of all
champion our
levels that you
cause?
see out in
You
the world.
remind me of myself when
focus
I was
is on
younger.
creating
I think
I
that's
will
actually
ensure
another
that you
really
are
big
justly
reason. It's like another
rewarded
one of
for your
those, I think, like
efforts.
accidental
If we both
geniuses of
survive
classic
the
WoW,
coming storm,
is that
but there is
a
time
lot
for
of
more praise
zones
later.
have reasons
You've not
for
accomplished anything
for
in
higher level
comparison to what
players
you
to
will
go back
face.
to them.
But
Like,
this
for
is a
example,
good
you have
start.
people that are going to kill Morladdam,
let
or
us
they're
see
going to
if
kill
this
Morbid
insignia
Fell
you found
in
is
Duskwood,
worth the effort.
and you're going to
There
see
is a
regularly
warlock within the
people
city
that are like
who
level
believes he
40
has my
maybe,
trust.
right? level
He does
40
not
or
know
level
that I realize where
35
his
in
true
Duskwood, and
loyalties
it's like,
lie.
oh shit,
He
like I'm
is,
gonna
in
get
fact,
there
the
one
leader
day.
of the Burning
And you
Blade.
go to
But do
Westfall
not
and you
rush
see
off to
like
do
a level
battle with
60
him.
riding through
He has a
Westfall because they're
purpose.
gonna get the buff from
We shall
CG.
use him against our enemies.
And like you're always
Take this
seeing
insignia
those
to him,
players that you
in the
can
cleft of
aspire to be
shadow,
like.
here
And
in
I think for new
Orgrimmar.
players,
Speak to
that's
him
actually a
and
really
see if
cool
he
feeling
believes you are one
because
of
it
his
gives the
own.
game
Then return to me here.
a scope
And where
and
did you
like a
get
depth
this?
to it
Good
that a
Margot's
lot
and
of
Razor Hill
MMOs
sent
don't
you to
have.
me, did he? Well, let me take a closer look.
Adventure right from the
The
start.
primary
We're doing
task
it
set
Or they
upon
have
me
it in
by
like
our
an
great
artificial way.
World of Warcraft has never been a sandbox game. The
No, it's
magic
not.
of vanilla is its ability
The
to
Burning
appear
Blade
like a
is one
sandbox
threat,
game,
but there are
whilst
others.
providing a
The
satisfying,
Searing
clear
Blade, for
path of
instance,
progression.
makes their home in Ragefire
Now, some
Cave,
people will already be
secretly
saying
attempting
these are
to
just
subvert
words.
innocent
I'm just
members of the
regurgitating
Horde.
the same
If
praise
they
for
are
Classic
to be
that we've
stopped,
heard from 100
then
different
their
people for
leader
years
must
now.
be slain.
And that in
A
reality,
Felgar
vanilla WoW
named
is a dated
Tarragomon,
game
the
packed full of
Hungerer. Kill
inconvenient
him, and his
mechanics and
heart will
gameplay
appease
elements.
thrall of this
And to an
I'm
extent,
They're right. It is. They're right. It's completely inconvenient. There's a lot of really annoying things to it, and there's a lot of really stupid stuff. But, like, the mastery over those stupid things and the reward for getting the mastery over it is very high. And I think also vanilla WoW is an easy game. It's an easy game that rewards knowledge and preparation much more than individual player dexterity or reaction time. And because of that, it has a different audience of people that want to play it. Because a lot of people maybe don't want to play a game that's like super high reaction, super fast paced, like, you know, you've got to be like reacting every second like Counter-Strike. You know, they want to play a more laid back game where they can just like learn and gain knowledge, and that knowledge is power in the game. It's like D&D, yeah, something like that. So yeah, I think that kind of stuff is amazing. Yeah, they want to smoke while I play. Yeah, exactly, there it is. I want to smoke while I play. It's literally that simple. It's not people that are like, it's not that they're bad at video games. Like, a lot of these people are probably good at video games, but they don't want to have to be good at video games for 8 hours a day. They just want to play a game and chill.
Extent, I actually agree with that. Vanilla is full of inconveniences, but I personally think that's partly what makes it so good, especially in comparison to the increasingly streamlined, stripped down
Mage should be
game which
killing the
came
bombs.
later. I mean, think about it. Getting your first mount at level 40 only feels
that
so
was my
great
mount.
because you've spent the last
I got that
39 levels running around a massive world at a snail's pace. Getting your hands on a sweet
Well,
weapon.
and it's also like that mounts were really expensive. So like being able to afford a mount was a really big deal. Like, just like, for example, like I remember like getting your first mount was like huge. And I remember for me, I hit level 40. I said, fuck the mount. I'm not going to buy the mount. I'm going to spend all of my gold on plate armor. Yeah, it might take me longer to get there, but fucking goddamn it, whenever I get there, I'm going to kill everything. And I just walked around, but I had full plate armor at like level 41 in vanilla WoW.
Halfway through your leveling experience, like the Whirlwind Axe or Vanquish's Sword,
It's a good
only
decision,
feels
him
great
attacking the
because
right
of how
target.
inconveniently long the time is that it takes for you to level, and your need to constantly increase your power to match the tanky, hard-hitting mobs you're pitted against along the way.
Yeah, vanilla WoW leveling is very hard. And it's not hard like skill-based hard, it's just hard numerically. You take a lot of damage, the mobs do a lot of damage. You don't have tools to solve every problem the mobs give you. And because of that, getting upgrades, and it also is really long. And because it's so long and hard, it feels better to beat it. And it feels better to get through it.
Completing a labyrinthine dungeon like Maraudon, Sunken Temple or BRD
It does.
only feels like such a grand achievement because of the time and effort you need to spend putting a group together, getting to the instance, and then working your way to a huge expanse packed full of mobs, not designed for speed and efficiency, but rather for immersion, exploration, and to fit into the overall world the game brings to life.
Dude, that's exactly what I was saying earlier about dungeons in Classic WoW. Dungeons in Classic WoW are the best dungeons Blizzard have ever made. Like, maybe I'm the only person that feels this way, but I don't get excited for new dungeons in WoW anymore because I know what they're gonna be. 7 trash packs a boss, and then 5 trash packs and a boss. And then 5 trash packs, maybe a mini boss, and then a boss. Like, they're so formulaic because every single dungeon is designed for Mythic Plus. It's so boring.
In short, like any great adventure, vanilla constantly throws inconvenient problems your way.
BRD
and lets you
is the best
figure out
dungeon
your
ever
own
made.
solutions, and it does so in a way which feels consistent and authentic to an actual virtual world. There is no cutting corners here, no skipping the queue. When you play the game, you are logging your character into what was designed first and foremost as a world, not a series of game modes tied loosely together in an open environment.
Yeah, you're going from menu to menu in order to, you know, play the game and level your character up. There's no menu-based gameplay in vanilla. I think that's a huge thing. And also, like, I'm not sure if he's going to cover this. I think another big deal about vanilla WoW is that your progress, like, stays the same. There's not like a seasonal battle pass that, oh, well, I'm level 43, and if I don't get level 45 soon, then there's going to be like a leveling change, and everybody's going to get automatically leveled up to 45 or automatically leveled down to like 0. Like in the same way that other games have like these catch-up mechanisms all the time.
Like a glorified lobby game. This is what MMOs were
retail
originally
is a lobby
designed
game.
to be. Virtual worlds for players to quest and explore in, where the systems encouraged player interactions, socialization, and your own agency. Where your desire to run a dungeon or complete a quest, or team up with another player, wasn't based solely on whether it would result in a cost-effective, measurable increase in your character's power level relative to the time expenditure. This approach to design wasn't just limited to MMORPGs either, but is instead indicative of an older approach to game design overall. For example, if you were to look at another of my favourite games, Morrowind, released a couple of years before WoW, you can see the same approach.
I never
fast
played
travel
Morrowind.
systems, which have become standard in later Elder Scrolls games, are heavily limited. Character progression runs at a much slower pace, and there is no ever-present compass guiding you to your next objective. Adventure. That's what it was all about back then. And no, not just because we were kids, or because the internet was so much younger and less saturated with every manner of guide and forum post directing you to play the game the correct way. Instead, vanilla WoW and games like it feel refreshing and immersive for players now.
I think that a big factor actually was the fact that we didn't have the resources that we do now. And like, there was something magical about things in games back then because you didn't have as many resources to understand what the context was behind them. Whereas now, obviously, you can just look up how to get Corrupted Ashbringer, and, you know, you can look up, can you fish in between Eastern and Western Plague Lands and get Ashbringer? No? Okay, alright, I thought so. And you just automatically know. But, like, obviously now it's not the same, but I don't think that's, like, the whole story.
Now, because of design choices that still hold up 20
But it is a
years
factor.
later. So that's...
No, as a poor... I was a poor... What are you talking about? I was a poor person.
Okay, I don't know
And
what
that-
your
no,
I can't speak to your position, but when I was working, I was a carpet cleaner. My girlfriend was pregnant, and I had bills to pay. Going to school was not an option for me. So if I go into like, here's some advice to improve your position as a poor person. Oh, thank God. And the first thing is to go back to college. Well, me. I've got a kid on the way, a house that I can barely afford, and I'm working as a carpet cleaner. That's like the worst thing to tell me. I'm not going back to school. My life is over. So there's got to be something else. There has to be things we can tell poor people for how to improve rather than like go to college. Yeah.
Save. You don't need that extra latte, that extra streaming subscription, going to that fancy dinner. You want to put that in a money market account, earning 5, maybe more %.
Okay, that's retarded. Hold on. Poor people are not opening money market deposit accounts, okay? But it could be that he's just talking about like for like a lower middle class or upcoming like student. In which case, yeah, never mind. It's better advice. I'm sorry. I made a big assumption about the audience who's directing that to.
Grow.
Oh, Marky Q, you did not.
So like this person looks like, just based on her hair, clothes, and her background, this looks like a person that should be taking this advice. But let's check.
Not have to announce how much of an out-of-touch billionaire you are. You'd cultivated this persona of being like the people's billionaire.
Oh, another thing that kind of sucks is MMDAs, money market deposit accounts, usually, at least like 15 years ago when I looked at these things, I think money market deposit accounts, don't they usually have fairly high minimum balances? Like, don't you need like $5,000 just to open a money market deposit account? Maybe that's changed in recent years. I'm not sure. Somebody could tell me if I'm right or wrong, but that would also be probably, I would imagine 5 grand is maybe prohibitively expensive for some people, but maybe not, I'm not sure. People are saying not these days. Maybe they don't anymore, I don't know. But.
Millionaire because of your prescription drug company. I guess when you're that out of touch, it's hard to be aware of it. Okay, so let's say that you get coffee once a week, every Friday. It's got to be that brown sugar oat milk shake and espresso, $6.15. You get that every Friday to celebrate getting through the week and to get you to that weekend. But not anymore, because you decide that Mark has a real pulse on the working class and working poor. You decide to forego that little bit of happiness every week, so at the end of the year, you can have $295. All of that work, all of that denying yourself, and what do you have to show for it at the end of the year? Maybe you can buy Mark Cuban's shirt. But let's...
Okay, couple things. Firstly, for Out of Touch, it was funny that she made $300 of savings at the end of the year for foregoing 1 coffee. Sound like a significant amount of money. For some people, having an extra $300 cash, it actually is a decent chunk of money. So that's a little bit of twinge of irony there. That for her, $300 is just a throwaway. But also, secondly, I don't believe the issue is with people buying 1 cup of coffee on a Friday to celebrate getting through the week. I think the issue is people will make it a habit to go to these places where they are spending every single day or sometimes multiple times a day at places like that, right? I could be wrong. Maybe Mark Cuban is really critical, but if you're only getting 1 coffee a week on a Friday at Starbucks to celebrate getting through the week, my guess is going to be most people would say that's probably fine. You're okay. But if you're doing it every single day, because Starbucks is built into some people's daily routines, then you probably have an issue. Also, 1 coffee a week is not the start and stop of people's poor spending habits generally, but okay.
Let's say you decide to invest it in a money market account. Like Mark suggested, you might get up to 5% interest. I mean, how much was the inflation in July? No, we're off to a great start.
Uncertain of
why you would ever compare year-over-year inflation
now that I know what's happened, perhaps I can finally begin to
the
mourn.
interest rate you would get in a money market deposit account.
Adventurer.
Not only is this nonsense, number 2, you want to know what's not keeping up with inflation is the coffee you drank. So this is a really fucking retarded way to view the comparison between a money market deposit account versus buying coffee every Friday, but okay.
But you hold strong because Mark said this was a great idea, so you don't have any more latte happiness for 10 years. How much money would you have? Would you look at that? That's probably enough for 1 month's rent in 10 years. No, but that was such good advice. Why is the issue?
1 month's rent is $4,410? Also, is that really all the money you would make off that? Let me check. Investment calculator. She said in 10 years. Yeah, but maybe 10 years from now, the average rent payment will be $4,400. I find that hard to believe, but it's possible. If we start with 0, if we annually contribute, was it $350? She said $6 a week. 6 times 52 is $312. And our rate of return is 5%. 10 years to grow. Okay, yeah, $4,000. Wait, starting amount is 0. Oh, we have to start with $100. Okay.
In 10 years. No, but that was such good advice. Why is the issue always that the working class and the poor do something that costs $6 that brings...
I don't like people like this. This is what I said. I'll say this a million times because it is true. Poor people love to be poor. People love to live poor and they do poor things. And this like constant like, oh, well, I need to buy this thing and I need to have this thing and I need to spend money on this and blah, blah, blah. Listen, if you're getting 1 coffee a week or whatever, I think you're probably fine, okay? But the issue is, hold on! Whoa! Hello. Amber Alert, Palm Beach County, kidnapped children.
Niru wants
Hello?
the demon seed destroyed, does he?
We have 4 children missing.
well.
An Amber Alert in...
He wishes the seed gone.
Okay,
but I will
the
tell you how to remove it.
Maradiaga family, okay? Missing from Lake Worth, Florida, Palm Beach County. Check your phones if you're out there, guys, okay? Go out and grab these suckers. Okay.
brings them happiness. Why is the issue always that the working class and the poor do something that costs $6 that brings them happiness every week, and not the fact that we have billionaires who are like modern day dragons just hoarding all the wealth? The issue is never framed as, why does...
What do you mean modern day dragons hoarding all the wealth? Like, most of their wealth is just tied up in like the stock in the businesses they own. Should they divest their business and just give it all to, like, it doesn't even make sense. Like,
Mark Cuban have 3 homes, but nobody in the United States who makes minimum wage and works full-time can afford the rent of a 1-bedroom apartment. And let's be for real, Mark doesn't actually believe that somebody's going to become ultra wealthy or a billionaire because of this advice, but it is a great deflection from...
that wasn't, I don't think his goal was this is how you become ultra wealthy or an omega billionaire. I don't think that was the point of any of the advice that he gave. I don't think he would say as much.
The major flaws that are systemic within our capitalist system.
Oh, capitalism.
And I used to eat this stuff up when I was in my early 20s. I'd look at the 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds and be like, wait a second, they're working really hard and they have nothing. How is that happening? And people like Mark would swoop in and be like, oh, it's because they don't wake up at 5 a.m. They don't only sleep for 30 minutes at a time. They don't...
Mark gave like what sounded like really basic, decent financial advice. Just super basic stuff. Just be careful, like limit your spending on stuff that you don't really need. That can, like, especially stuff like food, like you eat it and then you're done with it in 30 minutes, you know?
Don't only eat white bread and they just aren't grinding. Grind, until you wake up one day in your 30s and go, wait a minute, this isn't about grinding. This system is incredibly flawed because there's always going to be something in your life that you do that brings you a little bit of happiness or distraction and it costs a little bit of money. And the billionaires can point to that and be like, see, that's the reason you're not me. I mean, maybe Mark is right, because in the time that I've taken to make this TikTok, I have not had any brown sugar oat milk shaken espressos, and I am in fact now 100,000-aire.
Jesus Christ.
Looks like today was a big day. How'd it go?
You know, it's okay. All right. Yeah, I have no idea how much you follow my stuff, so I don't know. it was a fun times.
Guess we're about to find out, huh?
I guess so. Okay. All right. Do you want to introduce yourself, everybody?
Yeah, hey, I'm Lindsay, or Socialistly Awkward. My main platform is TikTok. I also have Instagram, Twitter. I'm a nurse in Idaho. A lot of my content is about Idaho. We've got a lot of extremists, a lot of fascists, white supremacists. So a lot of my content is about what they're doing in the state and healthcare stuff. Just, you know, standard, but that's what I do.
Gotcha. All right. And then I'm Stephen Bonnell, aka Destiny, Screaming at People Online. We've gone back and forth on that a little bit, and we are currently in a disagreement, or have had a disagreement over, I guess, some interpretations of a Mark Cuban clip.
Yeah, that appears to be what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Here, so. I'm just curious. What is your what's your, like, for as much as you're comfortable with, can you kind of tell me your financial upbringing, or like your trajectory from birth to where you're at now? Like generally, were you like middle class, upper class, lower class, and as comfortable as you want. If you don't want to reveal anything too personal, that's fine.
Yeah. Oh no, it's fine. I'm an open book. So I grew up extremely poor, really poor. My family, my dad did labor work, construction, things like that. Like just incredibly poor. Like my eye exams when I was little, my dad would take us to the job site, and there was an Indian reservation near our house, and they would have free eye exams every so often. So that's where we get our eye exams. Back to school shopping was thrifting, not like full vintage thrifting. Like here you get $40, make it work. You know, just kind of that. Like Christmas wasn't spectacular. I grew up Mormon, and so there was something called the Bishop's Storehouse, and my parents would go pick things from the Bishop's Storehouse that then we could have for Christmas presents. So when I was like 13, I would get like cookbooks or, you know, whatever people had donated. But yeah, it's really poor. Food stamps, all the welfare, everything. Not a lot of money. But it wasn't like because my dad didn't work hard. Capitalism just isn't his game. Like he really personified work doesn't make you wealthy, money makes you wealthy. Because he always was grinding, always working. And then as a young adult, I was working for.
Work doesn't make you wealthy.
Spent most of my adult life working for. I'm middle class or middle class or lower middle class, depending on where you look now. So that's generally where I've been.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. All right, seeing what page we're on here. Do you think that, I'm curious, do you think that poor people generally have bad spending habits, or no?
Oh my God, I was waiting for this question. First, I want to ask, what do you mean by poor? Like, do you mean poverty? Do you mean like paycheck to paycheck working for? Do you mean just like
We'll say like
middle class,
paycheck.
upper middle class?
We'll say like paycheck to paycheck worker.
Okay. So I think you can say that because data does back that up, but I think it's incredibly reductive of the holistic experience of being poor and what that entails and what that looks like and how they're responding to their environment. I mean, like, it's expensive to be poor, and they deal with, do you not believe it's expensive to be poor?
In some ways it is, in some ways it absolutely isn't. It just depends on what exactly we're talking about.
Do you mind, like, clarifying what, like,
when we say that it's expensive to be poor, an example of it's expensive to be poor might mean that my car is in a state of disrepair, so it's more likely to suffer some sort of damage. When it gets damaged, I have to call a tow truck. If I can't afford the tow truck, it gets impounded, and every day there's more fees breaking up, and I don't have the ability to get to work, and everything compounds because I don't have the ability to ameliorate my circumstances immediately with just having money. Any little problem snowballs into like a catastrophe instantly. That's an example of sometimes it's expensive to be poor. An example that I don't believe in, for instance, is like the fabrication of, say, food deserts, or the idea that healthy food is unavailable to poor people. I think that's an entire mythology fabricated by middle class and upper class people that think that poor people don't know how to cook or are incapable of it. So it just depends on when we say it's expensive to be poor. In some ways, I 1,000,000% agree. In other ways, I think it's a little bit of an autonomy robbing of poor people, and it's like an infantilization of them. It just depends on what we're talking about.
I mean, just back to the food thing. I get what you're saying about the food deserts and the cooking, but like, considering like paycheck to paycheck people, what do you think about the fact, like, you know, both parents are working, they're coming home late, they've got kids, like, just saying just cook your food isn't always as simple as saying just cook your food. It's not that they're lazy, it's not that they don't want to.
So welcome
it's
to the
that
crossroads, adventurer.
that's not always available for them in the amount of hours they have in a day, as much as they would like. And
Please,
so,
feel free to make
yes,
yourself
it
at home.
is cheaper
As
to
long
just
as
buy
you mind your
ingredients
business,
and cook
no
food,
one should have any problem with you
but
taking
that's
up
not
some
always
space. There are many
available
threats to our
to
safety
the working
here.
poor.
If you've
I feel like
already
if you,
become familiar with the lay of the land,
I feel like if you
speak to
math
the
it
others
out,
here.
that's just
Perhaps
never
they
going to be
have
the
tasks
case.
for you to do.
Like, to get healthy food, and we're not even talking like 50 million different types of green vegetables and everything. To cook healthy food is probably, not only is it cheaper in the long run, it's also time efficient. Like, if we're saying that like we're working so many hours in the day that we have to go to fast food at the end of the day, and single people don't even realize fast food for a single person might be anywhere, depending on where you go, anywhere from $5 to $15. But if you're feeding like a family of 4, you're looking at potentially north of, $40, $50 for a meal every single night. For however much you're working, take an hour off and go home and cook. Like, whatever time you spend working, you're going to save that money, probably 5-fold or 10-fold, just buying some simple ingredients and cooking food at home.
But, well, I guess maybe you and I'm not always saying they go out to eat fast food, because I agree with you, it is not cheap for a family. Not even like the options that used to be cheap, like McDonald's. It's not cost effective to do that. But like, it's significantly cheaper to have like a stouffer's you pop in the oven. That's significantly more time efficient than making lasagna, especially if you just come off like a 12-hour shift. But in the long run, that's not healthier, which contributes to more health issues, which we know people who are poor are more likely to have. And it costs more to buy the ingredients to make a lasagna than to often buy a Stouffer's lasagna and just make it work. I mean,
My understanding is
complicated.
it kind of is complicated if you have zero background cooking whatsoever, but I think that without any systemic changes, without any structural shakeups, without any additional education or work opportunities, teaching an individual to cook, all else equal, will probably confer a good financial benefit to them and a good health benefit to them. That it is a skill that is learnable. It's not that hard. It might be intimidating if you have no experience, but
No,
it's not.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. But I do agree that there are a whole bunch of reasons, generationally, I guess. If your parents are busy, they don't teach you to cook, you grow up, you don't know how to cook, etc., etc. Kind of like the generational poverty in terms of habits that can manifest from parent to child. But something that's frustrating, you said this before, that it's incredibly reductive to talk about how poor people have bad spending habits. I feel like you can make that exact argument the other way. When I argue with a lot of progressives, it feels like any time you try to give advice for how to escape poverty, they go, it's reductive, that's reductive, that's reductive. And then you go, oh, okay, well then what's the answer? Complete and total systemic revolutionary change of the entire system. It's like, well, that feels kind of reductive. Circling back to the Mark Cuban clip, I feel like it's okay to give advice to poor people and say like, hey, a lot of you spend your money in really shitty ways, which is just true, which is demonstrably true. And to say you could spend your money or allocate it a bit differently and probably get like a big savings. And it just feels silly that every time somebody provides like any good advice, which it is, people have to pop and be like, oh, well, that's not fixing all of capitalism. And it's like, well, yeah.
No, but I mean, that wasn't my critique of the clip, that it isn't fixing all of capitalism.
But but your critique, go ahead, sorry.
No, I have a question for you though. Like, from your response, I don't know if you have it on hand or if it mattered, but your response to me, I don't remember which video, but one of the responses was basically, well, this like upper middle class rich bitch is giving financial advice that's out of touch of her. So like, if I do it, it was out of touch and unacceptable. If Mark Cuban, a billionaire, does it, that's more acceptable. Like,
yeah, the reason why I thought his advice was more in touch is because his advice tracks 1,000,000% with poor people wasting money on stupid shit. And for I felt like for you to say, well, if we just get rid of our one coffee a week, that like if the average poor person's financial proclivities were to just buy one coffee at Starbucks a week, the majority of them would be probably in a decently improved financial position. This isn't, again, enough to like upend the system or anything, but I mean, there are a number of ways that poor people, whether we're talking utilization of credit cards, whether we're talking payday loans, whether we're talking like rent to own or layaway, there's all sorts of, or buying cars that they probably don't need, or leasing cars, stuff like that. There's a lot of ways that poor people use money where it's like, just spend a little bit differently and you can significantly improve your financial situation. And you can have like a path towards like starting to climb out of, you know, the bad situation you're in potentially, depending again on like how deep we're in here or what your actual income is.
yeah, no, I don't all the way disagree. I think that those are examples of why it's expensive to be poor. Like, I'm not going to make a generalization about an entire group of people, like poor people are this or poor people are that, because it's a whole lot of different people with a whole lot of background and different experiences living in different ways with different sets of values and expectations for life. But I think those were examples of why it's expensive to be poor. And I mean, like if we're going to be like really real, like fucking for real, Mark's advice wasn't for poor people, because at the end of the day, if it is that one copy, or even let's say it's $600 a year.
Well, it's not
like nobody but nobody with $600 a year, we get even like $1,200, they aren't getting a money market account. Like, poor people aren't investing in money market accounts. That's not happening. So who is this advice for? Is it for poor people?
Well, it could be for students, it could be for lower middle class people, it could be, I mean, it could be for a variety of people, it depends. But again, what you just said there, if a poor person's like horrible spending was just limited to 2 coffees a week, we would be in a whole different ballgame, but it's not. I feel like poor people's financial realities revolve around highly depreciating assets, meaning buying vehicles that are way too expensive, usually with outrageous terms because they already have horrible credit. So 60-month plus loans at 5% plus interest with all the gap insurance and every other, thing that the car dealer, sold them. Oftentimes it's picking inappropriate dwellings, like renting an apartment that the cost of rent is too close to where they can suffer an emergency. Oftentimes for lower middle class people, it can be things like lifestyle creep. So you start to make a little bit more money and you get a second car. Everything that I'm saying, these are just examples of ways that poor people spend money that are so horrible for their financial situation. And these things can be improved with stupid TikTok clips like Mark Cuban or basic financial education like Caleb Hammer or other people on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. And it's frustrating to me when somebody gives advice like that. It's like, hey, don't waste your money, unironically, on avocado toast or too much Starbucks or whatever, because you can blow through hundreds of dollars a month on stuff like this without realizing it. And then the response is always like, oh, well, I don't want to generalize poor people. Why not? We can super generalize poor people. We can generalize all sorts of people. That's why science exists, right? That's why we have economics and sociology. Like, we can generalize spending habits and saving habits and everything of tons of groups of people. And it's frustrating that it's impossible to give any sort of advice without it getting countered with this, like, well, what about capitalism thing?
I think, like, you just listed all the ways that it's expensive to be poor. Like, they usually have poor credit. Like, that makes their life infinitely more expensive. Like, as somebody who's lived on the edge for years and years and years and years, when you're living on the edge like that, you're not buying store-bought coffee. You're not buying store-bought coffee often. It's a treat. Like, there's not that money to waste because there's not that money. You already know you make to the dollar what you need to pay your bills. There's no wiggle room. There's no excess. And so when you're, like, as somebody who's lived in that position, when you are on the edge constantly, one, that's super fucking stressful. All the time. You're dealing with stress all the time. So we could also have a conversation about when you are stressed all the time, living day to day, you aren't thinking long term. You aren't. We already know that. Studies have shown that. You're not thinking long term. You're living day to day to day to day. And you also don't always think about things logically because it's not available to you. Like, you are living in a constant state of stress. Not that you can't ever, but not that you always will.
I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but, like, when we say it's expensive to be poor, I'm thinking of kind of like the intractable ways, like where if you're poor, you're fucked. So in my opinion, things like, it can be major home repairs, necessary ones. So, like, for instance, your AC breaking, or I'm sorry, your heater breaking in the wintertime. I live in the Midwest. It could be cracking a wheel, blowing a tire, or some sort of, like, minor car accident, or it could be, God forbid, some sort of health problem. These are things where, like, if you're poor, not only are you hit with a big bill, it's going to snowball into horrible shit. And it's almost unavoidable if you don't have the financial means there. But things like poor credit, there's not you shouldn't have poor credit just because you're poor. Poor credit shows that you are misappropriating your spending, or you're not understanding the amount of money available to you. Now, I'm generalizing from personal experience here, and I could be wrong, but I'd be shocked if I was. When you talk about how, like, poor people are budgeting all their money and they're doing exactly as they can, that was not my experience or the experience of other poor people around me. Generally, it's almost like you're bipolar when you're poor, and that you have this manic phase where the paycheck hits the bank, and for like 3 or 4 days you're living large. You might pay, if you're late on a cell phone bill or something, you get your phone turned back on, you pay a few bills, and then you spend like pretty dumbly. And then as you start to hit those final like 4, 5, 6 days, like your second week, and you're waiting for the next paycheck, then maybe you dip into the negatives because of poor planning. You get hit with bounce fees. Maybe you pull out that credit card, you start swiping because you don't have money for it. But a lot of it comes down to kind of like the poor, like you said, the poor long-term planning of poor people when it comes to spending. But I don't think that's like it built into a poor person's brain. I think it's just because they don't ever learn good money management or spending habits. And one of the ways you can learn those good spending habits is by making a budget and seeing where all of your extra money is going, and showing that maybe you don't need to buy, 3 or 4 or 5 fast food meals or DoorDash something just because you just got a paycheck and it just hit your bank account. Or you're in one of those lucky months where you got 3 paychecks and now you're going to buy a TV and like finance the other half of it,
No, and I that was not my experience, but I'm not going to say that's not everybody's experience, because I come from multi-generational poverty, and that was how my grandparents were. Like that was absolutely how they lived. And so that is how some people live, but poor people also have poor credit, going back to that point, because in a lot of instances, they haven't had a chance to build up their credit. Like you have to have the ability to buy things that require credit to build your credit.
Yeah, but
and
that's
that's also,
if you have money to buy things, you can just get a cheap credit card. You can get a credit card with a $500 limit and just spend it and pay it off every month, right? You don't have to make a lot of money. You don't really have to change any of your spending habits at all to build credit, I don't think, even as a poor person.
I mean, like, if you're young and poor, yet, like, my very first car, it was a 1995 Honda Civic. I saved up $1,000. It was a $3,000 car, and I was going to the bank, going to all the banks. I was like 19 or 20. I didn't have any credit, not any credit in the whole world. Mm-hmm. And so I needed someone to co-sign for me to be able to buy that car. Even though I could put a third down, the payment was going to be teeny tiny. I could absolutely pay it because I just didn't have credit.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with a Dave Ramsey family where it was like, don't ever have debt no matter what. And which I think is very problematic to teach people.
I agree.
But like we could have a whole other conversation about how poor people don't know about money, so they don't know how to teach their kids about money. They don't know about connections. They don't know about investing. Like that is also part of the whole like holistic. It's not necessarily that they want to spend their money poorly. They don't know how to spend their money.
I agree, but that's part of where the dumb Mark Cuban TikTok videos and everything come in, where it's like, I don't think you can just say like, oh no, it's expensive to be poor, we can't do anything. Because even the problem that you just mentioned about having trouble getting credit for your first car, that could have been something where Mark Cuban could make a video and go like, hey guys, if you've got kids, I don't know if they still offer this. They did like 20 years ago when I was a kid, but you can take your child into a bank and you can get them a secured credit card where you open a checking account, you throw in $300, and then they've got a credit card that's building credit for them, but it's linked to a checking account that works as basically collateral for the line of credit, so there's never any real risk to the bank, and so that your child is like regularly making payments and building credit. So like that would be another example of like a video that you could just shoot to a poor person, and without any big change in their life, they can be helping their child build credit. And again, like if you've got money to pay your bills and do all your normal things like month to month, you can be building credit. Like there's no reason to have bad credit, save for like a catastrophe in your life. Like the vast majority of poor people, if I had to guess with any data, the vast majority of poor people with bad credit did it because they made shitty spending decisions, not because a catastrophe popped up and wiped them out.
But like, if Mark Cuban made that video, I wouldn't say anything because that is actual good advice for poor people. You don't think telling somebody to like not buy like a ton of coffee or go to Starbucks every day, or I knew people that would get. But he didn't. But that's.
Or go ahead.
That's not what he said. He said, don't buy that extra latte or that extra streaming service. Like it wasn't even about the coffee, but if we're going to nitpick, he said the extra. So everyone wants to talk about like, oh, it's everybody who gets 2 Starbucks a day. Like I have coworkers who do that. Yeah, I'm not like.
Well,
that's not what he said though.
But that's, I mean, that's what he
if you're buying.
That's what he's not talking about one coffee. Like for whatever education level he has, he's a billionaire. I'm sure he can do the math, and he probably knows that 1 coffee a week is not making or breaking almost anybody's bank. But I don't think poor people are getting 1 coffee a week. I think there are poor people that probably get like 2 Starbucks orders a day. I think that's the issue that he's probably talking about. That I don't know if he mentions buying like store coffee in that video, or if I'm thinking of another person. But like, there are ways that people spend money every single day where they're just like not even aware of how much is just completely disappearing from their wallet because they're buying, like multiple trips to fast food places every single day, or door dashing, or other like dumb ways to spend their money.
I don't disagree that people are some people are not good at budgeting or assessing how much they are hemorrhaging on little things every month. I don't disagree. I also don't think that this was advice targeting poor people. Like the majority of the comments coming in who were like, of course this wasn't for poor people. Of course this is for people who are going to have $10,000 if they save up, or $15,000, who have $20,000 extra dollars if they save 15% of their income, 20% of their income. That's my issue. Is everyone made this video who they wanted it to be for. And I don't necessarily think it is universal advice for everyone in the same way. Like I have people that I know that make $200,000 a year and blow through their money in really stupid ways. And yeah, absolutely, they could probably start saving their money and put $50,000 down in a money market account every single year, and that would make a huge difference in their life. I agree. I'm not going to argue that could be advice for them, but I think, again, like, talk about how poor people are doing all of these things. That's not what I'm seeing. Like, I live in a poor neighborhood. It's old. I work with middle class people. I'm the richest sibling of my siblings by far, and I see how they live, and there's just not this extra money. Like, I'm not saying they don't spend things that are that they could save every single penny, but I also think it is, I don't know, there's just something so just completely fucked up in our society where the wealth gap has gotten enormous. The middle class is shrinking. Like, the wages have been stagnant for decades. And
I came for the one thing where you came to the right place. Look at our boy. Look at him. Red enchant, a red offhand, nice transmog. My character always looks so sad and pissed off. He's like, just put me out of my misery already. Chuck, the plan for today is simple. Number 1, pull out the wand. Today we're getting level almost 40. Wednesday we hit shadow form, and it's gonna be the most glorious, the most beautiful moment ever. When you search the camp, 4 mobs will spawn and go through a short RP sequence. When you start attacking, let Orgon aggro 1 while you kill the other 3 using cooldowns. What cooldowns? Hey, aggro 1, aggro 1, aggro 1. Ogre, do something. Hey. Okay, he aggroed on, thank God. Dude, that took forever. It's okay, Chad, wand in hand, we are indestructible. Rebuff our armor. Go, my Shadow Fiend. Attack. Dog whistle carried. Okay, the dog did 30 damage so far. I don't know if the dog is actually carrying. Is my ogre gonna... Oh, my ogre's gonna die! My ogre is Pepija. This might be a mana pot angle, actually. Bro, the ogre better not aggro more crocodiles or something. He did. No, he didn't. Oh my god, I did! No, the dog did. Fade. Ogre! Oh my god, I need a mana pot. Yo, we're still fighting, Mr. Ogre. Do not forget, we still have an encounter here. Chihuahua, go. Dude, there's too many crocodiles, I need to run. I'm scared. Help! Okay, thank you. I'm just tanking these like an actual tank. Shadow Fiend, do something. I kind of don't want to fear again, because I don't want to pull more. If they come back with more, I'm kind of dead. Should I not run? Okay, help me. Another crocodile! Run! Wait, I'm actually in trouble. Uh-oh. Oh my god. Not like this. Cockroach! Quickly! Help me, Orgon! You son of a sphinx! Oh, the cockroach helped me! We did it! Well, fine. Did we finish the quest at least? Orgon! You are so useless! Hold on. Time to ding! I have 12 gold. Chat, we need a Staff of Jordan. Staff of Jordan is the only salvation. We get Staff of Jordan, we sell it, we get our mount. Easy clap. It's the only way. Oh my days, that's a lot of Murlocs. Man, if this was retail, I would go straight in a straight line, pull everything and just kill them all. Dude, what the hell? 1, 2, 3, 4. What did I just witness? He's waving at me. Hello. If a little gnome can do it, lower level than me, I can do it too. Boom. Run! I pulled the mob. Run! Kite. Pop every CD. Shield. Want it. Yeah, I like that, right? I watch a master in action, chat. Oh my god. Dude, that's the whole camp. He's crazy. He's crazy. Okay, I will save him if something else pulls. He goes max distance. Very smart. Oh, he pots? Are we running? We're not running. I'm invested, chat. This is our pull. We pull together. Let me help you. Stop it! Don't hurt my little... Oh my god, yo, he needs help.
We helped them out, Chad. We helped them out. I'm just gonna kill these guys as well, just in case. Nice, we saved them. Boom. Yo, I helped them. I was useful. I think. Alright, he just finished the quest in one pull. I killed one mob. Chad, he may be able to pull the whole zone. He may be able to get infinite money with minimum effort. And he may have free food. And he may have free teleports. And he may be on a non-dead side of the game. But if push comes to shove, I would blast him in a 1v1. Yo, another one? What is this? This is so unfair. Okay, here's my AoE pull, chat. I got 2 mobs. It's the best I got, okay? Alright, we're done. We're done with the Warlocks. Chat, it's time. We're gonna make a little investment. When we get to Undercity, whatever the cost, we are crafting the Shadow Weave pants. Maybe we should look for an SM before we do the pants, because if we get lucky in Graveyard, we could get the Blighted Leggings. Alright, we're doing Graveyard, Armory, Cathedral. I can't get over how sick I look when I pull out these weapons. Look at this. Boom. It's time. Josette, Big Warrior, let's go. I'm gonna let him charge, of course, while he's staying. Full dots. Boring Plague. I don't know if he's in D stance or what stance he's in, but we are blasting. Shield again. We won. Can we suck him? I don't know if he has enough rage to kick me. Did he just pop retail, little bro? I need to shield. Shield is prior number 1. Okay, shield. Nice. What can I say, chat? I'm just a better player. I need to hydrate. Okay, hydration break. Chat, look at this. Get lucky in Graveyard. Okay, we could get the Blighted Leggings. Alright, we're doing Graveyard, Armory, Cathedral. I can't get over how sick I look when I pull out these weapons. Look at this. Boom. It's time. Josette, Big Warrior, let's go. I'm gonna let him charge, of course.
What
So
can
he's
this
staying.
insignificant servant do?
Full dots.
Training.
Boring Plague. I don't know if he's in D stance or what stance he's.
A burst of holy energy that fills the caster, increasing armor. Each melee or ranged damage hit against the priest will remove 1 charge, lasts 10 minutes, or until 10 charges are used. Power Fortitude. Powered Shield.
Trust no one.
Powered Fortitude. Tool tip / cast. Okay, and then we got Inner Fire. I can't give this to percentage it feels like caster. Yeah, I can't give that to anyone. Just okay. Oh shit. The hell?
I suppose you are here to be trained in the use of a new weapon? Make it fast. I'm very busy.
Make it fast. I'm very busy.
He's in, but we are blasting. Shield again. And we won. Can we suck him? I don't know if he has enough rage to kick me. Did he just pop retail, little bro? I need to shield. Shield is prior number 1. Okay, shield. Nice. What can I say, chat? I'm just a better player. I need to hydrate. Okay, hydration break. Chat, look at this. So, right? Look how much hydration I'm doing. That's a lot of hydration. I'm a DPS only in this first dungeon because later dungeons, the bosses are a bit higher, so we don't want to perish. So, ready? Power. I'm top damage already. Huge damn, huge damn, huge damn. I'm This is supposed to be our healer, chat, and he's top damage. Alright, we're just trying to see if the rare is here. So we're looking for this dude. Ajir the Sleepless. Oh! No! We got the worst one! This is a melee only and rare. Always hard in spy, chat. Alright, let's take him out. Boom. Nice taunt. At the end of taunt, we fade. And what is it gonna be? Dude, that's a big chest. Josette insta needed that. Alright, let's get out of here. Upgrade for me also. Yeah, take it. Oh, Grad's Shaman. Look what he had. No, of course you roll for that. What, are you crazy? Alright, let's get out of here. Hey, are we healing with Mind Flay? Oh, Shadow Priest is so cool for that. I'm healing with Mind Blast. Beep. One is run its course, I think. The wand is actually very, very close to running its course. At level 40, we can buy a better one from the auction house. Okay, I'm that's it. Top damage. Take a screenshot. It's right there. But I'm very dry. I can't do anything. I can't even heal anymore. I get one more Mind Blast. Boom. That's the power of the Shadow Priest. Oh my god, we pulled everything. Yo, that's a triple. Hold on. Oh yeah, I have grenade too. Fade. I should have not pressed that. Blizzies, you have a shield? Dude, look at my dam. One dynamite and I pop off. And Shadow Priest is so viable. I want to dot everyone so bad, but I'm gonna go if I do that. Boom. We're popping off. My mana is dwindling. Glizzy! Dude, he went for Glizzy. Boom. He's saying Blades of Light and everything, but he's clearly not a paladin, he's a warrior. Oh, chat, this
no,
is
he's a paladin actually.
Come on.
It's a retribution paladin. You just don't even know.
This is it. This is the one. Oh, damn it. Nothing. Alright, Cathedral now. This is the one we actually came here for. Like, I do have the possibility and the potential to pop off. Problem is mana. My mana holds me back. Also, I'm supposed to be the healer, and I have no drinks, and we're not healing anything. One tiny little heal on Josette. And we're back to wanding. Everybody stand back. I have a date with that person right there. No, not that person. Never mind. The one behind the door. Your taunt. Fade. Okay, I'm going to the tank. Chat, important message. When you have aggro, go towards your tank. Do not go away. It is pointless. This is it, boys. White Mane and her ex-boyfriend. Let's go take them out. Send it. One of these. This guy does kind of bang, so we need to heal apparently. And my wand is still kind of keeping up. Look at this. One dot and just one thing, and I'm beating the warrior and the warlock. Give me the helmet. Give me the head. Alright, Shadowwood Pain. Empiric Embrace. Spell the shield. Will renew. Spell the Hodge. What is a priest and the paladin? This is me and Alex. Big pump. Boom. Head. I'm getting closer to receive the head. The promised head. Yes. Okay, one need from Cool Daniel. That's how you win. To win every roll, you gotta have your wand in hand. Press need and just listen to the sound of the item entering your bags. Did everyone press need? Cool down! Glizzy, come here right now. Glizzy, the last time we fought, I did not have my vampiric embrace. Fake grounding. Oh, that's what I wanted. Come here, Glizzy. It's time to suffer. It's time to pay. Problem is, I'm 0 mana now, so if you survive that and you come back, it's GG for me. A little transaction. God. Thank you. What can I say, chat? Hardcore WoW. I thank you. That's a sick one. This is not streamer Benny's chat. This is a meritocracy. I send it. Big damn. Where's my blackout? Yeah. Where's my mana actually? Oh no. I'm getting grenaded. Okay, okay. I respect it. Here. Little mana burn, of course. Looks like it's gonna be one of those duels. Oh! Stop moving at the end. Stop moving at the end. Nice. I'm too far for him to shock. Oh, I'm dry. I'm dry, chat. I'm too dry. Fear! Okay, okay, okay. I have no drinks, mate. I have to wait for passive mana regen. Hey! What the heck? You ratted me out. Drink mana pot? I don't want to drink mana pot. Ah! Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Spell. Okay, we're getting a little bit of heals now. Help! Okay. Okay, okay, I see what you're doing. I don't know why I'm fearing him. Like, what am I gonna do with this fear? Maybe this fear was kind of useless. What an epic duel! Suck him to the pillar. Oh, winnable! It's winnable! Oh, I find silence mana. Hey, don't stab me. Do I win the stabbing contest? Okay, my dot is very strong. My dot can carry me. Oh, he's doing my strat now. Okay, we're sucking. I just need a blackout and he's GG. He's on the back foot. He has no mana to oh, Linus. This is big cooldowns for him. Good. I don't know if I can dispel his CDs. I don't know how this game works. I'm not sure how his cooldowns work. Do I silence this? Oh my god, I should have silenced that. Holy he bangs. What an epic adventure. Hey, hey, I don't have drinks. What the heck? Wait, my wand is stronger than his auto attack for sure. Alright, Chad stand it. Chad stand. That's not Chad standing. On, actually? It is. They were kind of. He's speeding up. He's speeding up. Oh, I won because I have fat spirit. Listen, man, I'm a priest. Okay, it's just the scummiest thing to duel. My Shadow Word Pain does everything for me. GG's, glizzies. Listen, at level 60, it's gonna be a little different. With no line of sight, you just literally two-shot me. Josephine Lister. Master Shadow Weave Taylor. She's wearing the full set. Look at that, chat. Shadow Weave pants. Boom. And we can get the boots, we can get the shoulders, we can get the robe, we can get the gloves. And at level 44, we can also get the helmet. It's time to have that entrepreneur mindset, chat. You know what? 3. That's right. 3 pair of pants. At 215, we can actually make different legs. But I think mine are better. Or, oh, I actually don't know. 6 stam and 21 shadow damage, or 12 intellect and 14 damage. Wait, red mage weave might be better actually. Alright, so we're equipping, yeah? Are we all on board? Equipping is the way? Red mage weave better than shadow weave? Boom. Chance we might be getting a ZG buff. ZG buff time. Oh, we are getting a ZG buff. Today we're getting the special VIP treatment. Look at that. Oh, it's Cool Danielle doing the summon. Nice. Holy, yo, this game is popping off. Look at that. Cool Danielle has no honor. No, she has honor. She summoned us. She's summoning everyone. Damn. Oh! Oh, we got it! Yo, that was out of nowhere. It just happened. The Spirit of Zandlar. Hope we have 2 hours. We have 2 hours to pop the heck off. Quickly! I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. Tomorrow we take good use of this buff. We get level 40, we get Shadow Form, and GG. We invested 50 to 60 gold. You guys told me it's a bad idea. Don't do it. Oh. And today we will see if our investment paid off or not. All right. Don't miss a single investment. Watch us live on twitch.tv/AnbonyWow.
Hello, Anbony.
What you want?
You've recently made quite
Spirits. Here to learn how to wield a new weapon or just to waste my time?
Yo, peace. I told you, Chad, it's good. 60 gold. This was a good investment. I'm very happy we did this investment. Hey, if you want to know a little secret? From now on, I can print gold in the auction house even when I'm not home. Thanks to today's sponsor, Awesome. Awesome is an all-in-one, secure, remote access app that allows you to control your computer from your phone. You can control your mouse and keyboard from across the world, and you can make keyboard shortcuts, and you can even turn your PC on and off using their smart power plug. And the best part about it is it has a completely free version, which is what I'm using right now, that works great. You just download their software, install the app on your phone, and then you just connect them using the QR code and the password you set up, and that's it, you're good to go. However, if you want to go above and beyond, you can try the Pro version or the game version of Awesome, which supports up to 144 refresh rate graphics and allows you to play pretty much any game your PC can handle. The way this works is Awesome transfers screenshots very fast from your computer to your phone, which is also the safest way to do it since it doesn't involve any third-party data storage or any virtual machines. If you want to try Awesome, go to the link in the video description right now. They have a free version, and you can also get the Pro version and the game version for a 40% discounts. They have discounts all the time, and if you really want to be fast, you can actually get the game version for free for 7 days, and this is only available for the first 200 people to use the code ANBONYWOW. Get it for free, see what it can do, print a lot of gold, and thank me later. And now, back at the video. Alright, so now that we're actually millionaires, the goal for today is simple. 3 goals. Number 1, level 45. Number 2, when we get level 45, I was gonna make initially the Shadow Wave helmet, that was the initial plan, but I realized I can just get 5 more points and get the Dreamweave circlet, which is so much better. It looks kind of bad, but it is what it is. And then the 3rd goal, probably the most important, we're buying the mount today. No questions asked. We have 60 gold. I think we need 90 gold today. We buy the mount. We're back to 0. That's the plan. Is that a good plan? Everybody happy with that? Alright, so to Stranglethorn we go. Also, we need to look for a ZF. Now the thing is, I am a Shadow Priest, and the ZF, I've seen a lot of people die to ZF. I've seen Guzu die twice.
Listen closely to what you are told, and do not quickly trust or distrust, for even friends serve their own ends, adventurer.
But I kind of want to go with Shadow.
Our great war chief knows this, and to prove that there are warlocks within the Horde who do not wish to destroy it from within or gain control over it, I have volunteered to aid our young leader in any way I can.
One of our own. It is good to see our numbers are growing so rapidly that I can no longer keep track of the faces of our members. That fool Thrall thinks I am working hard to cleanse the image of warlocks and prove we are his servants.
When is the new game
Idiot.
dropping? We are
Burning
making a game,
Legion will
but
make
it's so
ash of this
scum.
entire world after it drains it completely. Naive fool! The Burning Blade is the Shadow Council. There are many cults and organizations under the Council's rule, but all of them are just extensions of their will. I may lead the Burning Blade, but I am still just as much a pawn to the Council as you are to me. Look at the Searing Blade. Most of them think they are becoming the next rising group of powerful warlocks, that they will replace the Shadow Council. Welcome. Excellent, most excellent adventurer. What you have done this day is only the first step in a much broader foundation. A foundation that we will build the destruction of the Shadow Council on, once and for all. Tell me all he said, and leave not one word out. It may be more important than you...
Did not mean to do that.